There were 16 challengers who then became 16 legends, including 8 from the major prior. This is the StarLadder Berlin Major. I am your host, Alex Machine Richardson, and joining me to my left is, of course, Chad Sponge Birchall. It is going to be another big day, semi-finals, and the twists and turns of this bracket have been tumultuous. So much to be discussed, of course, not alone here with myself and Chad, Duncan Thorin Shields and Sean Gares residing as well. Semi-finals days, we're running out of teams, just 4 remain, and not necessarily the 4 that coming, on your tickets and your plane to Berlin, you weren't necessarily anticipating to be talking about.
Yeah, we're missing the #1 and 2 teams in the world right now. Liquid and Vitality both knocked out in the quarterfinals. And on this side of the bracket that we're going to see first, we have Renegades versus AVANGAR. I don't think anyone could have seen this coming. One of these 2 teams is going to make it to the finals. And they've taken some crazy scalps.
They really have, and we'll dig deeper, of course. You were drinking beer from a shoe, Chad. I'm sure there's a reason for that.
Yeah, look, I was a little bit happy. If Duncan put it quite nicely, I think I'm probably dreaming still. The fact that they've made it this far. This is the furthest an Australian team has ever gotten in a major. This is something that is remarkable. Now, let's not forget, obviously, Jacob's from Norway. There's some Norwegian people here. Yeah. I don't know if there's any New Zealanders here, but Gratisfaction as well. So there's representation from all over the place.
Kassad, obviously,
Serbia,
shots behind.
Yeah.
But this is something which is historic. And I know that everybody in Australia is staying up nice and late right now to watch this one because the country wants to see how we do.
And that's a story, and one I want to continue to cover is the underrepresented regions of Counter-Strike is fast becoming a conversation we just no longer need to have. I mean, the lovely statistics that if you will let me suspend disbelief by putting Renegades in the Asia category, we have everyone under the sun covered. Europe, North America, CIS, and Asia, all represented in these semi-finals, Duncan.
Yeah, I mean, what it's shown basically is within the context of the current system, everyone gets enough LAN play that they're actually at a decent level, because that used to be the problem.
Right.
Even if Tyloo had these amazing records in Asia online, you knew if they came to LAN, they had no experience. Yeah. They never played the other team. The best they could hope for was kind of a fluke win into people figuring it out and then being destroyed completely. Yep. So now you've seen teams like Renegades, you can see like 6-month on 6-month period, they're going up and up and up. Same for some of the CIS squads, actually becoming legit. It's no longer the Vega squad and maybe gets one best of one up over here.
I do want to just grab this point because I'm talking to Gomez, the manager of Renegades, all the time, right? And they don't even really live anywhere. Renegades have been spending so much time over this last year just in Europe practicing. And you have to think about that. We all know the best Counter-Strike's played in Europe. Everybody's mimicked that. North America's caught up now. And once we can get this to settle into all the regions, that's the goal, getting the game as global as possible.
Certainly.
Then we can see high-level Counter-Strike coming out of all facets.
And we continue to see it. I mean, AVANGAR is another storyline just like that, seeing not necessarily an underrepresented region, but underrepresented players who have brought the fight to the very best. And not many people anticipate seeing AVANGAR. Even, we have doubted them every step of the way to the semi-finals. Their credit has to be given.
Yeah, they've taken out both of the top French teams, G2 Vitality. They've beaten the best team in the world in Liquid. I mean, they've defeated everyone that they've faced since the Legend stage.
Even Renegades already.
Yeah, they've beaten Renegades as well. And they've improved their map pool throughout the entire process, right? Mirage was a map that they came into this major unable to play. And they said in those 4 days off, they worked on it so much that they took down Vitality on a map that they're phenomenal on.
Can I just get in here? Because look, when we saw them come in the qualifier or the challenger stage, they looked average, right? Let's be completely honest. These are their results from that. They beat Complexity, right? They lost to Mouse Sports. They then went on to beat Hellraisers, who are now no longer a team. They've all been benched. They lost to NRG 2-0, and then they just got past Simon in a 2-1 best-of-3 to even get to the next stage. But since they've gone through that, they've gotten better and better. And that time off, I know, Sean, you got something to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, to mirror that, though, we thought the same thing about Renegades. Sure. Renegades started that Legend stage at 0-2, and I was making the joke with you that we're going to have the Tyloo Renegades matchup in the minor net. It's like a recurring nightmare. But here they are. They're pulling the Cloud9 run.
And that is actually a really interesting point, and I think now would be a good time to talk about it, was the trials and tribulations of the Aussie scene and the minor circuit. You were locked into the Asian region for a while. It was often the same game, the same team, just to get that ticket to the major. Now, stepping out to a semi-final stage for the first time.
Yeah, it's flip-flopped, right? In the beginning, we used to get to over and compete with the Europeans, the Americans, all that kind of stuff. Then we had the minors going up against the Asian teams constantly. Yeah. They weren't the ones on our radar. We were focusing at the Europeans, the North Americans. And then now that it's gone back to this regime, you can see Renegades, they're on top of that region. They've got that covered, and I think that this is to stay.
It certainly does, and we have got a whole show ahead of us. I want to remind you now, in fact, take this opportunity to tell you to get your friends involved. Semi-finals, Counter-Strike, some lovable Australians, AVANGAR, who have continued to impress, and that's just the first game. After that, you get to see more from NRG, the North Americans who could, and then some as they face Astralis, who many have been converted to after their performance. Let's get this party started.
the timing of the season from LXCP. Holding the defuse. See, we're having a pretty good job of it. We've already tagged him on the kill. Will they take the bomb back to 8? Will they realize there's a stack inside? There. From multiple towards Tag, trying to get somebody to beat, but they just won't do it. And finally, Flamey does it.
God, just with that deagle so deadly, forces him into the arms of Device. Ooh. How has he done it? You might have to get on his horse right now. Good headshot, opening frag, a traded kill, a team kill, defense crumbles so quickly. That just...
StarLadder Major Semifinals.
Hey Berlin, good morning everybody, how's it going? All right, I like that a whole lot. Everybody have a good night's sleep? You ready for some more Counter-Strike? Oh boy, semi-final day. We got one more day of games. We're about to have a major champion. Who would have known that maybe the major championship trophy goes down under? It goes to Australia. Any Renegades fans around here? Damn, Chad, a lot more than I thought. All right, well, let's check this out. You all have these cool bracelets? So how about AVANGAR fans? We got any of those around here? All right, let's get those bracelets up. Hold them up. AVANGAR, AVANGAR, AVANGAR. It's all right. It's not your best work. It's not the worst work, though, either. Let me tell you guys something. We got 4 teams left in the 15th ever CSGO Major. This is the place to be. Berlin is the place to be right here, right now. Let me ask you one question, Berlin. Are you ready? No, Berlin, are you ready? Come on, give me a little bit more, please. Woo, 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 woo. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen it all, but we haven't seen the games we need to see yet. Semi-final day, and nobody expected some of these teams to be here, especially you at home, Twitch chat. I know you're involved, and I know you're activated. I know you're doing all kind of crazy spams that are probably illegal in Twitch chat, which is completely okay with me. I like golf script too. Let's get a hell yeah! All right, let's get this semi-final underway. Let's go!
Welcome on stage. Renegades.
Semi-finals time, live from Berlin, the Mercedes-Benz Arena. It doesn't matter which fans came in with which jerseys, because they have definitely chosen a favorite coming into this semi-final. AVANGAR versus Renegades is what we're about to bear witness to. And I say we, gentlemen, the Counter-Strike ahead of us and what we've seen so far, I think it would be foolish to not get everyone on the same page as to how these teams got here. Let's rewind. It started, of course, not even before the quarterfinals, but their run. You touched on it, Renegades, they've had their slip-ups, they've had their trips and stumbles, but into the quarters, you believe they have found a different form, a different footing?
I think I saw glimpses of them, you know, in the early matches. 16-14 against NRG, that was a fantastic game. Yeah, look, a team who has shown us blistering form.
Certainly.
Renegades have played good Counter-Strike, right? They just, I don't want to say got unlucky, they made some really bad mistakes. They've been tidying up those mistakes. They made the same mistakes against AVANGAR on Vertigo. If they slip up again now, that's a problem. But what we saw from them when the quarterfinals run was fantastic Counter-Strike against an ENCE who just looked like they couldn't even get off the starting line.
Yeah, what's interesting is because these two teams have already played, and it was AVANGAR who was probably going to come into this as the underdog who won the match. If anything, the guys from Renegades, like, they're prepped, they're comfortable, they've played this team before. You've even simulated a veto, sure it was a best of one, but you've gotten a sense for where they were feeling at the time. You've watched them play the match against Vitality, which you remember that was on the only series that was a full 3 maps. So you got a lot of information there. So listen, I don't know what the coaching setup is within AVANGAR. I'm not quite sure how tactical they are in terms of the in-game leadership, but on the Renegade side, I know Kassad's done his homework and he's watched the demos and he knows the maps they want. I know Azza knows exactly where they want to go for comfort, whether they're willing to perhaps bring out the Vertigo, which will obviously be on the table. So I actually think this skews a lot of it into the Renegades' favour, as opposed to if you'd never played AVANGAR this tournament, it'd be really tough to come into this match blind, I think.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. I think AVANGAR does have, so their coach is very strategical, and I've talked to him on several occasions, and he does a lot for them, you know, tactic-wise. But where I favor AVANGAR is Adren's presence. He's been here before. He's done this with Gambit. He said this stage reminded him.
Sick augmented reality, by the way. That looks sick.
Yeah.
Just gonna say.
That is really sick. But yeah, so Adren's been here before, and I think that his presence in the server, his calming presence, helps AVANGAR at every turn in this best of 3.
I mean, it was an amazing statement he made by Adren, especially, you know, in hindsight, where he said the first time we walked out in the quarterfinals, I said to my teammates, this looks kind of like Krakow.
Just for
you
those,
know, like that's just somewhat poetic.
There's people who aren't aware, he was the MVP at that major, right? They won that. Gambit came from nowhere, and we're getting similar vibes in this major, right? Yeah. Sure, on the other side of the bracket, NRG, Astralis, they're 2 teams we look at, you know, within the top 5 in the world. But Renegades and AVANGAR, I think they're ranked 15th and 16th respectively right now. We never thought that we would be seeing these 2 teams going face-to-face in a semi-final.
It's such an upswing in form. Taking a look at the games that Renegades found success in previously, it was a stomp versus ENCE that I want to highlight as well. This was an ENCE that looked undefeated, untarnished coming into the stage match, coming into the playoffs, sure. Duncan. Renegades just chopped them out of the water. Remember,
ENCE had 2 of the top-rated players as well, so it's not as though they were just coming in like, oh, we scraped through. They 3-0, they beat Vitality, the number 2 team in the world, 2-0, they're Kryptonite. Everything on paper said ENCE is potentially going to go to the final. They're a really good team.
Especially when you look at that nuke matchup against ENCE, right? I gave Renegades no chance in winning that nuke match, but you could tell they put in tons of work between the Legend stage and this Champion stage on that map, and that dedication is ultimately what caused them to go through with that 2-0.
Yeah, and the grind the same for AVANGAR, not only Vitality but G2, and a liquid overtime victory have all impressed our analysts so far.
Yeah, and they came out and said, we watched all your demos, we knew what you did, and we beat you with it, right? Which is fantastic. That leans towards the homework that Sean's speaking that Dustin does. And I spoke to Dustin on the first day, and I said, good luck to, you know, in the challenger stage. And he looked at me and he said, we will fight. And to this point, they've been fighting, right? They have had quite the run to get to this point. And when you watch them play, the things that they do, they're not what you expect every Counter-Strike team to do. You just watch that Vertigo game against Renegades. Look how much room they give on their CT side. They give teams enough rope to hang themselves. You push on in, and then they're just going to swarm you, and I think they do a fantastic job of that. But that's a play style that if they just want to run with, I'm hoping Kassad and the boys have been able to work out a few solutions to get around, because it shouldn't be that difficult if they just want to play passive to find ways to bait them in and go for flanks.
Non-stereotypical Counter-Strike, is that how you describe AVANGAR?
I think so. I think they play a very scrappy brand of Counter-Strike, and I mentioned this last time we saw them play against Vitality. If they can get the rounds into the 3-on-3s, the 3-on-4s, 2-on-2s, I favor them every time in those scenarios. Their mid-game calls are perfect, and we saw that with James all the time on Mirage against Vitality. He carried them through that game in those mid-game scenarios.
He certainly did. Have we put much thought now into how the vetoes could likely shape up and its ebbs and flows? Duncan, do you want to set the scene somewhat?
Well, I mean, obviously the interesting aspect is the whole prospect of Vertigo looming over the series.
Right.
Obviously, in yesterday's games, particularly the Astralis Team Liquid game, was a massive chess piece on the board. So we know the Renegades are a team that have certainly played it. Obviously, they literally even went into Vertigo in this matchup, which everyone criticized them for. Everyone said, oh, it was the wrong pick. And Kassad came out afterwards and basically said we didn't regret it. Like, that was the right pick to do at the right time. Listen, the game didn't go the way we thought it was going to, but like, we'd do it again, essentially. Which is pretty bold when at the time you think you've lost to an underdog.
Yeah, and you look at the bans, right? They're going to be very clear. AVANGAR are going to get rid of Nuke, and we're not going to see Renegades playing Overpass. Those will be the bans. So the picks is where it's going to get curious. Now, most people would be thinking Renegades are probably going to pick Mirage. I would heed them in that. I would say, let's not go to Mirage. Let's take this somewhere else. Let's go with maybe a Train.
But Chad, didn't they destroy ENCE on Mirage?
Who cares? I don't care.
16-5.
Let's not play a CIS team on Mirage. Let's remove that. Let's take that out of the equation.
See, that's the problem. These CIS teams are so good on Mirage, and Vitality fell into that trap. They looked at all the red in that column against all the other CIS teams, and they got spanked on it yesterday. That game was ridiculous. And I think AVANGAR could do the same thing to Renegades. I think AVANGAR would put in the homework to stop those boosts around mid, so I hope Renegades doesn't fall into that trap.
I actually would like it if Renegades really did believe what they said in the preamble then. They said, right, let's run it back again. We pick Vertigo as our map, because I think that'll be very, very bold, not only for this match, for the rest of the tournament, because I know what you mean, Chad. Train's obviously always been a map for the Renegades, but it's a map normally it works better if the other team picks it. Like I'm pretty sure Vanguard's going to be fairly comfortable on Train as well.
Yeah, and actually just discuss it on the topic of Train before the vetoes are on our screen. I have a much more big picture. I'm taking a bit of a leap backwards here, if you don't mind. But T-sides and what seems to be a bit of a shift in favor of the attacking forces. We've seen almost all of the maps, Dust 2 to name a couple, Overpass, we've seen it as well, where T-sides are picking up double digits. Astralis versus Liquid, sure, somewhat of a perhaps anomaly, but we are seeing that movement. What's your take on that?
I think it's a combination of the new economy and the Krieg, right? And the AUG nerf. All three of those things come together and they help out the Ts a little bit. It's very difficult to force them into eco scenarios, and that second round Krieg buy that we keep seeing is just so strong to get the Ts rolling.
And we were talking about force buys with Renegades when they were playing their match against ENCE, and I said how poor their stats have been on that. If they're probably going to continue that play style, right, they're not going to change. AVANGAR is a little bit more different. It feels like more map dependent or matchup dependent for them if they're going to go for force buys or not. Because what's the key for this team? I think everybody here knows, getting Jame and AWP. So if you're going to be force buying and someone's not saving money to drop him that AWP early, which Sanji has done from time to time, then they're not going to get their normal game plan working. And if he is in-game leading, because we've heard Adren's helping, we've heard Kicket's helping, we've heard James doing some in-game leading, this game plan still seems to be built around making sure Jame has that AWP to do as much damage as he can. And people, you know, laugh and joke and make the meme, but if he can save an AWP and then win them around further down the track that's going to break the economy, let him save it.
And sometimes a trap that teams fall into when you have an AWP you want to play around is when the AWP's been saved, when there's a rifle sprinkled in there for good measure, people tend to force around it. I'm wondering whether or not AVANGAR have fallen foul to that sometimes economy faux pas.
It really depends on their economic situation. They have strategic plans though for those buys. They're one of the few teams that I watch that knows how to incorporate that crazy one-op buy.
Yeah, the USPs, we've seen rounds like that before. And actually, vetoes on our screen. So you said the clear-cut bans was Overpass, and what we were going to see removed from it of Vanguard.
You'd want to take it out against the Vanguard anyway. It's one of the maps that they're very, very comfortable on.
Should remove Nuke.
There we go.
There we go.
This is where it gets interesting, right? Because Renegades right here, they have the first choice. So if they want to go something like Train, that means they'll be starting on the T side of Train to kick it off, which most people don't like starting cold like that.
I like starting T side. I think personally
the momentum,
the
right?
one-shot AK headshot, singling off fights 3-on-1.
What about possibility of
Oh,
Dust
they've
2?
done it. They've gone to Mirage. We talked about it. And, well, Renegades are unwilling to take a gamble
I
in
will
this
say
veto.
this, that does suggest Renegades are very confident. Because what they've said there is we value comfort more than anything we saw against Vitality.
I do like that. I like when teams pick into their comforts. And Dust 2 out of AVANGAR.
Out of AVANGAR. So here's the thing, I actually thought maybe that would be a punish from Renegades. I know that against Vitality, listen, it looked great. If we didn't win that round, it would have been a stomp. But even so, the idea of going against Renegades on this map, I'm not a big fan. You know, normally Renegades pretty good on Dust 2, right, Chad?
Yeah, they love that map. You know, that's the map they went 16-14 with NRG to start the tournament.
We talked about T-sides. And
everyone's been informed on Renegades as well, exactly. It's not just one player.
We saw a Vanguard on their T-side on Dust 2 versus Vitality. They picked up 12 rounds. So, I mean, you've highlighted it already. I want to put the numbers there. They got 12 T rounds against Vitality.
And there's the respect.
Could be an Inferno third. No, Train.
There you go. See, I know Renegades are confident in this, right? I've heard it come out of Kassad's mouth. They played Dream Eaters earlier on this map in the tournament, and I think that if you're AVANGAR, you probably would have felt more comfortable on Inferno. It's a map that they've picked. It's a map they've played a lot thus far.
But if you're AVANGAR, I think you know for a fact Renegades is going to pick Train out of those last two maps. Otherwise, why would they remove Vertigo?
I think
they
AVANGAR
want
doesn't mind
something.
Train as a
I don't
decider.
think they do
Didn't we see
either.
a
I think this is a
banging in
great best
Vanguard
of three.
Train? Didn't we see them play this map earlier on in the tournament? I remember tripping out. I thought there was that long overtime game. Perhaps I missed.
They lost to NRG on the map 16-8, and they started on the CT side, and they really struggled to get going there. They were getting faked and moved around.
2 phases ago, right?
Yes.
Challenges.
Not much to take away from losing energy on Train.
Sure.
They're very good on that.
Astralis can attest, yes, we've seen it. But on your screens are the boys, Azza, Liaz, JKS, Grass Faction, and JChem. Australia, New Zealand, Norway, writing history for the flags that fly by their names by stepping onto the semi-final stage.
And I have to say, like when the Renegades first came along earlier this year with this lineup and were having the good results and they made top 8 at Katowice, it was people like JKS hard carrying, Azza was pretty good, but people like Grass Faction, it was just in the context of their team players, like, oh, they fit into the system. Like, everyone in that match against Ents was getting their job done, fragging out. It was a very impressive performance, I thought.
It really was. Azza, in-game leader for the Renegades. He's been pulling the strings for so long in that jersey. Jacob, the wild card that came in from Norway and has ignited a fire in the bellies of the Renegades. Came in as a stand-in, no less. JKS, the turret. Seen him time and time again as his
opening kills 32. That's a different JKS, Chad.
Yeah, he's changed his role. Justin doesn't play the same as he used to. Oh, Gratisfaction sounds like a bit of a crowd favorite. We need more impact out of him on the AWP. We know he can be a fantastic player. They haven't built around him thus far, but this is the man of the moment right now.
Yes.
The clutches that Liaz was winning to get them to this point, he was doing what he used to do in Australia against the scrubs, against the players like me. And now that he can actually do this on the big stage, if he can carry that form through right now, there's no reason Renegades can't go to the grand final.
He had 82 ADR average over all the maps they played. Remember, they were the team that went 0-2, had to fight all the way. So they played a lot of maps. So this is a guy who used to look like he was surplus to retirements. Yeah. He's one of the better performers in the tournament.
Perhaps unlikely hyperbole, but is this the most firepower we've seen from the Oceanic region before?
I think so. Yeah,
I think so. Here's the thing: people are going to instantly think of when NAF was just carrying on Renegades, but that's the problem. The disparity there. He was hard carrying. He was like a mini Simple, you know. The rest were like all right, and then they could maybe win off team plate zone. Now, as you saw there, this is no joke. Just in terms of like the spread, it'll be like 20, 19, 80. If you can do that across the map, imagine how potent your offense becomes.
This is definitely the best version of Renegades I think I've seen, and that's comparing them to last major, right? When they were just ogging everyone. That was such an insane run by Renegades.
Makes it more impressive.
I think, yeah, this is even more impressive. They showed that they can do it without the AUG in play. And I mean, here they are facing, AVANGAR in the semifinals in a very winnable match for them.
I think they actually come in as favorites, right? You would say that Renegades here are the favorites. Even though AVANGAR have taken some massive scalps, for whatever reason, it feels like they're going to be the favorite. But AVANGAR, we've talked about it, they have a quirky style. We have that trio of Kick It, Buster, and James. They've been fantastic. But actually, I think Sanji is rated higher in the tournament thus far than Kick It. And he, when they got through their quarterfinal match, he stepped up. Now, if he can do that again, that's what AVANGAR need to take this one.
Duncan, do you mind walking us through the AVANGAR players as we take a look at some of their statistics?
Sure. So if you look, obviously you have to start with Jim. This is the guy who he's the stud, right? He's the in-game leader. He's the AWPer. He was actually outperforming Ziwu over a best of 3. That's no joke. One of the best players in the world. Kicker, he's a guy you heard he's doing a little bit of the in-game leading. Perhaps he's the entry guy. For me, I look at him as kind of the CIS apex. He's a bit up and down, but when he's on, he is on. This is the guy who looked like he was dead weight up until the playoffs. Came in a big way against Vitality, outperformed a number of the legends of the game. Speaking of legends of the game, this guy was playing in a major final in CS Source in 2005. He won a major a couple of years ago as an MVP, and he's back again, potentially going to another final. And then we have Buster. He's often the guy that, listen, with all those names, he gets left out, but his fragging yesterday was a big deal. He has to kind of put some of the punch behind Jim, because Jim's not simple. Like, he's not just going to hard carry the whole map. He's going to do his part, but when he's saving those ops, he needs someone else to come with the rifles to allow them to have that punch, I think.
Yeah, when I watch AVANGAR, obviously James has tons of impact, and everyone sees James' presence on the map as an AWP. But I look at the strong, aggressive rifling out of Buster, Kicker, and Sanji to get double kills and multi-kills on rounds to just, knock opponents off of their feet.
Yeah, no, certainly destabilizing. We've seen what happens when AVANGAR get their teeth into an opponent, and the Renegades, of course, going up against them. Now, reminding ourselves of that veto. We did lock it in. We saw the question mark surrounding whether or not Vertigo would show up, but Mirage from Renegades, and so perhaps a little rehashing is in order as more and more players and fans take to their seats. We're going to be discussing Mirage and getting closer to game time, but first, let's hear those fans that are oh so loud and oh so proud.
I can't believe that it's already semi-finals time. Man, time runs so fast, and I'm here with some AVANGAR fans. Guys, I see that you really prepared for this game. Tell me, where are you from?
I am from Switzerland.
why are you cheering for AVANGAR from Switzerland?
So I think Jamie is the second coming of Jesus, and he will save my pick'ems. Sorry, chat, sorry.
Well, that is a reason. Okay, I know that you have something to say for all the Russian fans.
Да, конечно, для всех русских. Чики-брики в дамке, AVANGAR!
All right, James, how's Renegades fans doing up there?
Well, the Renegades fans are large and in charge of all of this, and I've got Marius next to me. He's got quite an interesting story of why you're here and who you're with.
I'm with my group, Discord group, OG, shout out to you. And yeah, we met on Counter-Strike, and we came here to support our team. And let's go Renegades!
The Renegades camp is always loud. Everyone in the arena, make some noise. Tonya, I am so ready for these games.
Anyway, we're here to see a beautiful CSGO. Whole arena, I want you to make some noise as we are about to know the name of the first grand finalist. Over to you, Alex.
I have got to give you credit, Berlin. You certainly have posed a perfect venue to get the Counter-Strike fans all under one roof in celebration of our favorite video game. AVANGAR fans in there plenty. I feel like people have gone and rebranded themselves over the course of the night. You know, got the Sharpies out, gone shopping at the jersey store, and they're ready to go again.
Why not? This is fantastic. The amount of people who have come from different countries to be here. I was talking to Natu. He said he thought about 1,000 Finnish fans had come here, and that's what it seemed like on that first day. So this is a fantastic place for us to be. It's great to see all the support for all the teams. Now, hopefully, we can get a good game of Counter-Strike to entertain them all.
And how likely is that? We start with you, Duncan. Mirage. There was a reason that there was somewhat of a question mark surrounding whether or not this would be Renegade's pick.
Well, listen, yesterday's performance, 2 days ago now, against Vitality, listen, that in isolation, very impressive. Problem is, Vitality kind of gave the assist to that one. They didn't really turn up themselves. And then you have the fact that you can't deny history. Like, if you just looked at their win rate, that didn't even pull their win rate up that high overall entirely. So I agree. You maybe want to skip that in terms of current form, but I don't mind it from Renegades. It's a bold statement in my opinion. You just say, listen, we're going to win our map. You can pick whatever you want after that.
You've been supporting the boys this whole time, Chad. When you saw Mirage, was it butterflies or was it the antithesis of it? I don't know what's the opposite of a butterfly.
Look, I won't lie, I'm pretty scared for them, right? Because I think that the way that AVANGAR can play Counter-Strike, they're very poised. They can play patient, they can sit back. If they want to go for the standard Renegades play, get Azra in window, allow him to flank, they'll probably just be James sitting in CT spawn with an AWP watching that vent room, right? These are the plays that I think that AVANGAR will pull out to stop stuff, and that will rattle these guys, unless they have several different layers. I know they have 5 different variations of how they run that window boost with different nades and timings. They obviously have a lot more strategies than just that. But I'm really just worried if Renegades are using all their utility just to get into key positions to find frags, and they're not getting those kills. At that point, they don't have a second layer. Do they have a second execute? Have they saved flashes and smoke so they can reinitiate when that retake comes in? That's where the battle's won and lost for me.
We have the odds on your screen brought to you by our bookkeepers of the major GG.bet. You could see there's somewhat of an edge given to the Renegades. And actually, Strafe, the fans do seem to be speaking in favor of AVANGAR. If you want to cast your vote for the future games, go ahead and install Strafe on iOS and Google Play. So Mirage locked in, and I think the interesting question that I have to ask, I'm allowed one newbie question, okay, Sean? Sure. I'm allowed one newbie question a day. It's coming out now. Let's cover what makes that Renegade's mid-presence so powerful, because we've been singing your praises, talking about it often in post and pre. I want to understand what's happening and why it's working.
Sure, so throughout this entire major so far, they've thrown 2 smokes, right? The window smoke, top mid smoke. Sometimes they'll smoke catwalk though. They'll do boosts in mid though. Like Chad said, they'll boost into window, but they also get boost all over middle for frags, right? They'll boost to kill the window guy if he's holding it from an op.
Like from underpass?
Yeah, from underpass. They'll boost behind the connector smoke to catch a guy in connector. They'll boost next to the connector smoke to kill a guy in catwalk. So all these boosts are catching people off guard time and time again. And I think AVANGAR did their homework coming into this match. I have AVANGAR taking this match.
Ooh, okay.
The match, not just the match.
Yes,
the match.
Okay.
One for AVANGAR from Sean Gares.
I'm not going to go 2-0.
Okay, not that ball. Just trying to lure him into that one.
Close enough. Excuse me.
Good friend.
Yeah, it was. And with Mirage discussed now, Chad, I wanted to ask for your kind of rebound on that. And when we talk about them taking on this mid-control, you've also told me that AVANGAR tend to play quite passive CT sides, letting teams in, especially on Vertigo. Is that not the answer? Just let Renegades waste their time in middle, then get the frags out?
For sure, and that's why I'm worried about this one. Look, obviously I'm a little bit emotionally invested in this game right here, and I think and I hope that Renegades are going to win. But with this video right now, I don't think they've been audacious enough. I think they've played the safe bet, and they've played that they are the favorite. I wanted them to come in here scared. I wanted them to come in here playing for their lives. If they go in thinking that they're the better team, then that's when we're going to come into some problems. Because sure, this is the first time an Australian team's ever been in a semi-final, but let's not think they've already overachieved. Let's go the whole way. And now, with this play style that we've been talking about, if they can't start fast, if they can't capitalize with the individuals, they can get shaken. They're an emotional bunch.
Hearts on their sleeves. It can be their success, it can be their failure. And it does sound like we're ready to get into this one. Ladies and gentlemen of Berlin, do we have any Renegades fans in the Mercedes-Benz arena? And I saw the corner, but I want to hear them. Any fans for AVANGAR? Certainly sounds like they're ready for the counter-strike. I've got the predictions for two of our analysts. Quite clear a Renegades fan. One as well. Tip the scales for me, Duncan.
I think Renegades takes it 2-1.
Okay, look into the Renegades, the boys poised to get themselves to the grand final. Let's get into game. It's over to James Bardoff and DDK.
Thank you, Alex. One of these teams is going to the grand final. This is a very interesting half of the bracket, and Renegades will be starting on the T side. We've got a lot of players going towards the A bomb site very quickly. Liaz is going for some information towards B, perhaps showing some presence, but not really doing much in terms of rotation for AVANGAR. Looking towards the underpass now. We've got 3 players in A for the CT side, and Adrent having a look in the underpass. Does he go towards top mid?
Bomb ready and waiting by the A ramp, ready to burst on the A side, waiting for the Q, waiting for any kind of an aggression and arguments to trigger the push. You can see Renegades slowly now making their way towards mid. We've got Liaz coming in through the underpass. He's been spotted now, taking some damage. And what does that tell AVANGAR? What does that information mean? I don't think there's really enough here for them to go off of. They're just holding positions. See towards A still. So AVANGAR have good spots. JKS now will announce his position towards the palace. So slowly but surely AVANGAR piece it together, but now Renegades going for a rotation.
Yeah, they're rotating to B as just when they've made AVANGAR really curious about the A bomb site. You can see Buster's left the B bomb site as well. He's pushed from short into that mid position, which means he's not going to get the sound cues. However, Renegades are walking in the apartments, a complete abandonment of the A area now from Renegades, and nobody in mid either. Adrent starts to make his way towards top mid. There's no one close enough on A to find out if anybody's even there. Jame wondering, Buster looking back towards these windows once again. We've got a first grenade in. Jame flash off the position, but Buster will hold for now. He sees Gratisfaction, sees the bomb, and James delivering as well, but not for long.
It looks like they should be able to get the bomb down in time, but there's still a retake to be worrying about. AVANGAR are now coming in from every single angle, every single position. Catwalk, market, B apartments. Well, maybe not B apartments anymore. JKS deals with that one quite handily as Sanji pushes his way forwards from Catwalk. Kika now gets a look in from the market door, going for the engagement, finds himself Jacob. There's one more to go on the bomb site itself. Kika trying to find Gratisfaction, trying to get him to commit to a peak, but they're just delaying. They know that they can win this with time, if nothing else, and there goes the fight for Sanji. Kika committed around the corner, trying to find these players again. They know it's all about time right now, and Kika is running out of it as he tries to push the fight, but he knows he can't do this. The respect there for Renegades. The reload comes in, he can't get the fight. Knives are out, but the round has been won by Renegades.
Kika will hold on to his Kevlar, but not the round. Indeed, they start on the right foot. Renegades 1-0. See if they can continue their momentum now. I'm really interested in the second half for Renegades. On their previous game, JKS and Jacob were so key in so many rounds. The multi-frags, the impact frags, they were so important for Renegades to come away with the W. So in the second half, we will look to see how that happens. But in the first half, my go-TV pick has got to be Kika. He's the impact frag man for AVANGAR, and he needs to deliver today.
We had 3 HEs for AVANGAR. We'll have to see what position they'll decide to try to drop that Nukon. Kika with that Deagle, the only person with any weapon, well, any firepower really. Everybody else stuck on the USPs. Kiko cannot find anything in middle, and Renegades, we know they have a very solid game plan when it comes to playing their T side, and we know that ENCE failed to punish that game plan, but AVANGAR, we know they're so strong on this map. They crush Vitality here. They are a team that does their research. I think we're going to see a lot of interesting stuff as things unfold, but for now it looks like Renegades will make their way towards this A bomb site as they just try to work out exactly where the majority of these AVANGAR defenders actually are and what they're carrying. But they've seen so far is Kiko with an Eagle, and now they know where they are. JKS is going to face Brave Stuff, and everybody for Renegades stays alive.
AVANGAR didn't have the positions to use those HE grenades. Maybe some can be collected. James doing a little fishing. Maybe he'll hold on to his Deagle and these HE grenades. Jacob hunting, looking to make some bonus money, but the 2-0 is a good start for Renegades. The buy's not too far away though for AVANGAR, so we'll see what they can do. Continue to surprise us after a back and forth start, a bumpy road, it's fair to say, AVANGAR. Speaking of surprises, Renegades as well. Really peak performance at the moment.
Ooh. It's a good find, isn't it? Can he keep it going, though? He's got no careful of that aim punch. Oh, dear, makes it rather difficult. I'm not sure what he was going for there, but he will go down. But at least there is a little bit of damage to keep Renegade's economy honest in some respects. But now we get the buy coming in for AVANGAR. We get James going to the AWP straight away. We're going to see this. They really prioritize having James on the AWP as much as possible. And I'm sure he's going to show us a strong argument as to why that's the case.
James will be naked in round number 1. Assuming he's smoked off in the window position, he won't be too susceptible to grenades, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Not ideal, of course, but every sniper is used to it. There is a distinct lack of grenades across the board, though, for AVANGAR, which could be an issue. Really spot the players jumping out. He will. Perfect stuff from James. Knows the angles of aggression, and that's exactly what AVANGAR need. An unanswered frag early when they've got no real area control with any grenades. Sanji has 1 smoke grenade. Beyond that, they don't really have almost anything.
Good flashbang for short there for Azza. And he's not going to see too much there, but at least he has control of that position. That's a huge thing. We know that Renegades have a really good game plan when it comes to getting that mid control and developing that map control, getting connector, getting the ladder room. They're really effective at building that into a side take. And AVANGAR, they've got to be cautious here. They've only got a smoke and a flashbang with a minute to go. They're really going to be relying on the fragging power of their players, and Renegades start to make their move. They start to make their rotation. That bomb making its way to the B apartments. We have a B attack brewing, but AVANGAR, they don't have any way to get the information about this, James.
You see that Sanji has finally changed his jump strategy. He's not standing in the corner, taking one in the face once again from an AWP, which may come later on. So a safer game. You really have to be careful about the apex of your jump, and that is perfectly timed. Maybe he got some kind of cue. He's got the MP9, he had the jump, but not the best weapon for the job. Gratisfaction takes his face off. Buster's in a good spot. Hasn't got a crossfire. His teammate can't really play off him just yet. There's 29 seconds on the clock, and there's pressure for Renegades. They don't have the man advantage. Dren's position is known now, but this is buying time for the CTs to rotate. There's nowhere to plant the bomb just yet. JKS with a 2-man spray down. The garden hose is out, and now James is alone 1v2.
It's not just alone 1v2, he has no Kevlar, no nades. He has to be absolutely perfect. Gets the leg, they're both down low. Swaps out for the M4. Liaz and JKS are so low. James can do this, even though he has no Kevlar. But JKS playing the headshot position is just enough to deal with James. And that is a round win. It's a slim win, but it's a win nonetheless. 3-0 now for Renegades as AVANGAR have to play the save once more.
The AWP comes out for Renegades, so we'll see Gratisfaction get up to his usual shenanigans. A very aggressive sniper, one of the more aggressive snipers in the game at the moment. And JKS, that's how you want him starting off. We said how important he was on Mirage. We mentioned the CT side, but the T side as well, of course. Maybe the best player on the team, JKS. Really important for the Renegade squad. We may have a slight pause as it looks like somebody needs to reconnect, but it is the start Renegades we're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. We know how strong they are when they get the ball rolling, especially when they get to play into a Mirage starting on the T side. We saw it against ENCE. Again, we have to think back to that matchup. I'm sure AVANGAR would have looked at that matchup, would have looked at the ways in which they could exploit Renegade's game plan. So I think that's why this match is such an interesting one, James, because we have to expect that AVANGAR, with the information on Renegades on this map that's out there, and with what AVANGAR shows us against Vitality, that they are going to throw some interesting wrenches into the works of Renegade's game plan on this T side. But many rounds left to play, and we're seeing a scout on James. I think, yeah, Sanji dropped the scout to James. That's actually quite cool. AVANGAR, always good for an interesting save round.
See what they have in store for their opponent. Renegades anti-eco territory. Historically, these rounds have been disastrous for Renegades all too often. Hasn't quite been the case, though, at the Major. It's been the odd hiccup here and there, but that is to be expected from any team. There's a new Renegades we have seen, but it needs to continue. AVANGAR can be very dangerous in a round such as this. Renegades showing some presence in a mid position, but not really drawing the CTs there, unbeknownst to them, as they have now left the position. Liaz keeping the CTs honest towards B, making sure there's no push. In the meantime, JKS was doing the same, at least in the Palace. You can see Kika playing for information. The one smoke on the AVANGAR squad. So what exactly is the plan? Is this to buy some time for a rotation and then have some bedlam?
Well, this is very interesting because Kika is pretty close here, looking to slow things down with the smoke, and of course the CZ in this position has been extremely dangerous. We've seen many players at this major do damage with the CZ here. It could be key. What can Kika accomplish? Will they push through the smoke? Will they have any utility to deal with this position? Kika looking away for the flashbangs periodically, waiting for the moment. Has to pick perfect timing. The lineup comes through. Gets a double off the CZ. Jane with that scout doing lethal damage as well. 2 players left here now for Renegades on the bomb site as the spray comes through. They still need to get the bomb, and they have time to do it, but there's so much pressure on them here.
AVANGAR slowing things down. They don't need to fight to the death at the moment because the bomb needs to get planted, and that's to their advantage. They're buying time for Buster. He's racing into Palace. Renegades, what can they possibly do? They can't rotate because they give up all the weapons. They have a rough idea of where most people are, and that's information they can try to use, but they're running out of time. There's 20 seconds on the clock. There's a triangle of doom. They're surrounded from all positions. Jacob with a grenade in his hand. Buster's gone past the angle already, and that is the round there. Has to be the round, surely. Has doing what he can, but he can't. With one smoke grenade, AVANGAR buy time. Kika spotting. The grenades come through. He drops the smoke grenade. The B players rotate. James delivers. Kika delivers in a spot which is absolutely brutal for Renegades. They choose to push the smoke. It's suicide. And we're back where we used to be with Renegades.
That's such a cool round. If you look back, just all the utility for AVANGAR was used just perfectly. I don't think they could have used it more efficiently. Such a great round from them, and I love how Kika held his nerve. But into the next one we go, and Renegades have a buy. They don't have too much utility behind it, but there's a fast play up catwalk. Jacob is going to go down. James looking for that fast play up catwalk. He'll control the flow of Renegades players as they try to make their way through onto some better map control. But now it's just Azza here in this position. Ooh, has a slight gap to work with. Can't find the frag though. And Renegades will take control of this A bomb site, but they are taking their losses as well.
The bomb is in a very, very forward position. There's time on the clock, but there is not personnel. James delivers again, looking sharp as well. JKS, the last man standing. 1 versus 4. He has time to do this. He has an AK-47. He can pop heads, but it won't be easy. They don't know where he is. You can see that because Buster's looking top mid at the moment. I'll not reveal his position just yet. Looking for some elevation to see over some of the boxes to get some information. Now he may need to concede his position. The CTs give him nothing just yet. Jumpers jumps off the boxes quietly, releasing the crouch button after falling off. Needs his first engagement. Sees an elbow. Now all the information is known. Switches out for the creek. 40 seconds. That bomb is in such an exposed position. He has a flash, and that's about it. Throws it towards James' position. He might not even know it's James. All he's seen is an elbow. There's the first engagement. 1 versus 3 now. 30 seconds remain. Found another piece of utility. Keeps James blind for the time being, but there's a player on top of him. Buster's baiting. Sanji does the job. Too many man, and it's 2 rounds for AVANGAR.
Yeah, and that's so critical to at least extract an extra kill from that round. They need to keep the damage up onto AVANGAR in the rounds in which AVANGAR win. But of course, without a bomb plant especially, we're going to see a complete save here from Renegades, I think. I don't think they can really buy almost anything. See a flashbang so far, that's about it. James, this is such a key shot, and of course there's a gap in the smoke there in the window, presumably due to an incendiary, and so that play absolutely critical. Great start from AVANGAR, great start from James, and Renegades indeed. Just a single flashbang, the dream flashbang. Can they get the bomb down? That's their objective.
Palace first, you can see AVANGAR, they know their advantages. They'll play distance, they will abuse their range. The bomb is not going to be planted. Great patience from Kika, prioritizing the players around the bomb, trying to defend the position, the people shooting at him, and then taking out the bomb planter afterwards. That limits the pressure to the CT economy. Never mind the T's getting some bonus money. Prioritize their own money first. They're building round by round, brick by brick.
And so this is the situation, James. AVANGAR have denied that momentum that we saw Renegades get on their T side against ENCE with their game plan. Now we know that Renegades have a lot more plays to go through, and the way that they build those plays from mid control, there's so many things that they can do. But this is definitely a much more difficult situation that the Renegades are finding themselves in. And AVANGAR are looking like they're about to start to take control of this one. They have Sanji on an MP9. He has been critically important on that B-bomb site. He can hold it by himself. He's been playing very smart there. But surely we're going to see some aggression from AVANGAR at some point here.
An MP9 on the B-bomb site almost feels iconic at this point for AVANGAR. Not something you see from many other teams, but Sanji, I feel like he's often got an MP9 or a MAC-10. Very much the man for the job, and once again there's a gap. James going to deploy the grenade. Obviously he's warned them away from going through that smoke already. So to play the safe route and still take a lick of damage. There we go, these are the vintage, if you will, Renegades boosts into the window. Now it seems that nobody ever seems to twig this, and Azza once again is going into the B-bomb site with record time.
Oh, is he going to get caught there? Oh no.
I don't think Adren has seen him. He's got no idea. Azza's looking for two, he's greedy, he's a glutton, he wants the cake, he wants the sauce. Can he find a second player? He can. They're lining up for him, and there they both go. That is the round over.
Yeah, that has to be it. They're carrying so much right now. There's a full 5-man squad over on the B-bomb site. And at this point, it would be suicidal. And you're right, James. So this is worrying. So this is really interesting, because surely AVANGAR should realize that Renegades have specific timings behind pushing the window. And when you get that really fast timing, obviously what you're expecting is, because of the smoke going into the mid window, there's a timing where the AWPer, to be useful and not just be, of course, sitting there behind the smoke, will rotate out of that window position. And so there's a key timing in which you can, as we saw Azza, push through to the vent, push through to CT spawn, and really do whatever the hell you want. So
Renegades are so successful with these window boosts, I think they need their own infomercial at this point.
Yeah, there's definitely something. It's going to be interesting to see if that happens again.
If you buy in the next 5 minutes, Dan, you'll get your own Azza bobblehead in the B-bomb sites. And that's Renegades back in the lead, just like that. Very simple. At least it was surgical from the AVANGAR POV. They're able to hold on to 3 weapons, because what can you do? You have no position. Yeah. It's already over.
Yeah, especially when it happens that quickly in a round. It's a pretty solid bet that the T side has a lot of utility, so that they can just repeatedly smoke off the choke points, so you're never getting in. So what is the adjustment? Of course, the AVANGAR keep those weapons, as James mentioned. Adren's actually in the window here with an AK-47. Jane goes straight to connector, looking to see what he can find. You can see that they smoked off the Molotov, and that again creates a gap. Jane abuses that gap, picks up the kill onto Azza. And that is a nice revenge kill, given that Azza ended the round single-handedly in the previous one. Oh my god, look at the timing behind that grenade. You gotta love it.
That's gotta be just shy of max damage, I think. Beautiful timing from AVANGAR. And this time they've got Buster looking in that ladder room position. But the thing is now, I feel like AVANGAR aren't necessarily playing their own game at the moment. They're playing to try and counter Renegades, which is necessary, but that's a plus for Renegades. In previous rounds, we have seen them get into that ladder room in record time. Now there's a sound cue, which will be really important. Sanji, how has he managed to do this? Has he been spotted? We see Liaz backing off. Oh, we've seen his arse. The Brazilian butt lift is not going to pay off for him. And it's going to leave Gratisfaction and JKS now in a 2 versus 5.
Oh man, Liaz didn't see him, and that's... Now what do you do? Gratisfaction, JKS in a desperate situation. There is some time, of course, but they know where Gratisfaction is. Now, JKS will take down Kika, and they've made their way onto the site. There might even be a plant in it here for Gratisfaction. He's just got to risk it. He's got to go for it. And indeed, that's what's going to happen. The plant behind Triple as the CT side start to rally themselves, and Gratisfaction, it's a 2 versus 4. Plays have to be made, and here comes a big one off the flashbang. That is not bad for Renegades. There's a chance in it here for them off this plant.
This is a really slow retake from AVANGAR. You can see Buster getting into position, but Adren is still in the short position. JKS is made for these kind of situations. He splashes teammate in, but Buster is there. Stereo frags for AVANGAR, and it won't be a clutch on this occasion. The boys in blue tie the score. Well, they're in red, but on a CT side, so it still works.
And also a really great effort. I mean, they've made that look winnable. You know, if there's a world in which JKS kind of checks to the flank, obviously it's timing that's hard to predict. But if he does and wins that battle, then it's a 2v2 all of a sudden, and things get really interesting. But 4-4. AVANGAR keeping Renegades honest. Renegades will be in with a 4-buy in this next round, but they will be spending all of their cash. So this is a very important round in terms of Renegades taking some momentum in their T side. So we'll see what they can do. I've been loving the way that AVANGAR have been creating gaps in the smokes, and James is going to mix things up here. I think he was going for the cat jump. And instead he will once again extinguish the connector Molotov, but he can't find the shot just yet. He goes for it again, and a big punish from Greta's faction. And there might be more if Buster gets too curious, and he does, and he's dead.
So much risk taken there, definitely outstaying his welcome. You just gotta think to yourself, is it really worth all this risk? They have money in the bank, so at least AVANGAR are choosing these risks when they can afford to take them. And it is early as well. And again, this is the kind of control I was talking about in a short position, although you're not expecting to be 5 versus 3 in this situation. I think this is going to be another game over, although Az is looking to do more damage. The barrel of his gun is going to be seen by Sanji. There'll be a ding-dong, and that's over. Dren may look for some kind of opportunity. I don't know if he's going around towards A or just holding an angle to fall back from. It will be the latter. This is a weird one, though, because if he takes a shot from there and he misses, he might get stuck trying to run out the door. It's not quite the same as the window on the balcony, but who knows? Maybe they're just trying to prioritize taking money away from Renegades. As you can see, Renegades need that money at the moment. AVANGAR have got a few bucks in the hole. The mattress is still stuffed.
Yeah, and it's an interesting situation. You're looking at James' position, but first, actually, let's see if Adren can get some value here. They don't. How far will they go? Will they peek this? Well, looks like they know where Adren is. There's an AWP there, so they'll be safe playing in a position here where you can see JKS, but it's a nice little pickup for Adren at the end of the round. But I wanted to go back to James' play there, because you could see he really wanted to get some value. First, I think, he misses the cat jump. That was the play that he wanted. And then I think maybe he got too caught up in the fact that he wanted to really deliver a kill. And it's just that one peek too many, James. Had to respect that flashbang and the positioning of Renegades into middle. And that's good as well for Renegades, because they need to be confident that they can beat James when they're going into mid. It's very important that James doesn't dominate that position.
Yeah, I understand. He's basically, he's been causing them problems from window, from the top of the connector part. So he wants to mix it up, but watching the sniper stand there for so long, you just get more and more and more nervous. But here we are. Renegades back in the lead. A tactical timeout has come and gone. And we've got a difference in the buy here from AVANGAR. They've gone from 1 AWP to 2. So Buster will be wielding the second one. We'll see what the approach is around the B-bomb site. Plenty of grenades for both squads. This is an important round, especially for Renegades. Still on the catch-up despite being ahead when it comes to money. They must be successful here.
Yeah, and I love that we're seeing the double ops. I really like that. Let's see what Buster can do from the catwalk position. Greta's faction looking for the jump. Is he going to hit the shot? Sanji, oh my goodness, I'm so worried. I've seen Sanji get caught too many times at this point. Greta's faction will keep making his way forward, and you can see Renegades are playing off of, if he gets a pick, they'll just burst onto that B-bomb site. But we'll have to see if that timing's going to work, because now, of course, Greta's faction's not got anything. They start to wander backwards in the B apartments. Maybe Sanji will give something to Greta's faction once again. Another try, but can't find it. Some good nade damage, but not the kill, and the kill is what he wanted. And now Renegades have that mid control. And Sanji's getting aggressive. My God, he just goes for it. That's insane. I don't know how he converts that, but he does, and Buster does as well. Now Renegades are in hot water.
Surprise! And the second AWP is on the B-bomb site. James has the window shot. He'll avoid the flashbangs, and it's 5 versus 1. Jacob's alone now. And again, they had to win this round. No bomb plant, very likely. Their money's gonna suck. He's got to do some damage, but nothing doing just yet. It's all peripheral damage. 5-5, AVANGAR with a strong answer in that round. They make the adjustments. Your move, Renegades.
Those AWPs just punctured every player. It's just so fitting that the final player of Renegades dies by getting wallbanged by 2 different AWPs from 2 different angles. I feel like that really tells the story of that round. And indeed, it's such a cool position to be as well, because AVANGAR could start to think, all right, let's just play a steady setup, be reactionary with these AWPs, we don't have to do anything crazy. Or they could take it the other way and think, all right, Renegades are going to try to counter us in these ways. There are certain ways you can deal with double AWPs. Some teams like to go for the classic set pieces. You shut the AWPs down by getting the smokes down on a bomb site, for example, A, cuts off line of sight. Then you get the bomb down. Now you're forcing the AWPs to retake where they're a little bit weaker. So that could be something that Renegades are thinking to do, but here's a little highlight reel for you. The AWPs of AVANGAR working their magic.
Absolutely. Really strong position for an AWP. You need to have a flash for that position. Every sniper likes that when they're on the B-bomb site. So Renegades, I do wonder if we're going to see a fast round. They know AVANGAR have 2 AWPs, which may make it harder to defend a fast play if they can swarm onto a site. If they can trade one player, then things could get pretty awkward on a potential retake for AVANGAR. So if Renegades can use their utility to get onto the bomb site, if they've got flashes in the hole, let's say to make a push towards CT, this could become very, very interesting indeed.
There you go, the smoke's really cutting off the line of sight, but Kika, does he want to play in front of it? No. This is a smart choice. They can play retake. They've got lots of utility. They can just let the bomb go down. Kika has to be careful not to overcommit, but he needs to hold on to CT. Renegades want to get CT if they possibly can. They need more forward position to deny the retake! That's not bad, is it, from Kika? Gets himself a second. And now Renegades down to 3 players, but they've got the bomb down. But it gets worse, because in comes Sanji from the flank when you thought you were safe, when you thought you had a chance. Sanji is looking absolutely deadly, picks off another one, and now it's up to Liaz in a 1 versus 4.
Just waiting now. Maybe the best he can hope for is damage. The grenades are coming his way. There's one. Can he find some more? It's a very tight position. They were lining up for him, but he couldn't do enough. And the round goes to AVANGAR. Now, there was some great potential there for Renegades.
Yes.
It took them a long time, though, to plant the bomb. It was about minute 5 on the clock. By the time they planted the bomb, AVANGAR basically had a CT on a ramp, which is a difficult situation. They did swarm the site. They did go for the CT push. Kika was ready for it, though. He was expecting the flashbang push. He realized what they would do in that situation, and he managed to get 2 out of it. Really strong stuff from Kika.
Wow.
Looking for the full highlight. Not quite getting there, but again, the impact frags from the man.
Yeah, you're completely right. That's the play. That is the play. Renegades have to make the CT push work, or it's over. And Kika knows that. What a beautiful, beautiful display. You highlighted him, and we're seeing it from him so far. That's good for AVANGAR. But now we get the full save pretty much from Renegades. We get a few deagles there, a P250. And at this point, it's about keeping that CT economy reduced as much as possible. Don't let the money get out of control. But I feel like AVANGAR have been really good. We've seen them get those full saves in with 3 players. You know, I think 2 rounds in which they lost 2 players straight away. They get to keep all that money. And Sanji's going to feel some presence from these deagles, but the deagles can't really do much without utility. That's not bad. That's not bad.
James will still hold the position. The bomb hasn't been seen just yet, at least not on the A bomb side. It's moving away from B at present. They've got a pick there, so if they're fast, maybe they have a chance. Maybe it's the gauntlet run now. If you look at the position of Adren, he's in CT spawn. He hasn't gone through jungle in case there was a boost, which means that support's going to be hard to come by for James unless the CTs try to cross the triple. Buster's in. He's got an AWP through connector, so James safe from that position. He can focus on default, and it should still be impossible to plant the bomb unless there's another pick. There's Buster activating as Gratifaction makes his way over. Now Adren will take the position of James. And then there was Liaz, 1 versus 3, forced forward towards that triple position. He doesn't have the bomb, it's by default, but maybe he has a chance to win the round. 29 seconds. He has Kevlar, he's got 40 HP. He's got position to plant the bomb now.
Uh-oh, this is getting very scary. It's more than damage done. They're threatening to win the round. Liaz with this deagle. Looking extremely focused. Buster, he can't afford to miss, but the plant has to come in. Liaz can't be faking this. He needs to get the plant. That's time for Buster to move in. The nade does the damage, but James, 4 kills and a bomb plant. I think they would have been happy with 2 kills.
That is a great effort from Renegades, and it's a great answer to the previous round where they did some good work as well, and they did get some frags. So that's going to force AVANGAR to spend a lot of money. And Mattress will start to get a bit smaller, start to feel uncomfortable as they spend all the cash in this round, AVANGAR. 2 rounds ahead for now, but there's still time for Renegades to turn this around. They'll be on the buy themselves, JKS with 5,900. There'll be no issues in buying. Going for a 5 AK play, and again, I do wonder if this is a response to the fact that there are 2 AWPs, and they're going to try and abuse their numbers, but this time with better weaponry.
James straight into mid again, as we've seen him off to do, trying to find a gap there. Kika, he's going very deep here. JKS has to react, and Adren tries to trade it. That play's not worked out. Now James has to deliver. He whiffs the first shot, the flashbang comes in, makes his life more difficult. Looking to see if there's going to be trades hit. The utility usage from Renegades pushes AVANGAR all the way back. And AVANGAR, they have questions. There's a big question in whether they even try to go for this at this point, James. It's a 5 versus 3.
They can't, but they're being flanked by Azza. Maybe, again, Renegades are reading the situation really well. They're responding to the buys of AVANGAR, but also, like, they know they can't retake this with 2 AWPs. It would be absolute madness unless Renegades give them something, which is why they're not trying to push CT, but Azza's in position to really ruin the day. They cannot seriously be going for this AVANGAR. It would be absolutely wild. Buster's been taken out. Surely it's time to fall back. fishing for something, and now Azza makes his way towards that mid position, having cleared out B. Sanji goes low, and James went high. So maybe they'll both survive.
I do like that we saw from AVANGAR that they tried to get some damage in. We are getting towards the end of this half, and they do have a decent amount of money in the bank. And Renegades, it would hurt a lot if they lost 2 or 3 players, but we actually see Gratisfaction picks up a kill there on one of the remaining players. James survives, though. Importantly, of course, he has the AWP, which is the most valuable weapon. So that is something, but Renegades making this competitive for sure. 6-7 now as they pick up that round, and AVANGAR looking to spend almost all their money in this one. James going to have to drop a few guns.
Yeah, despite the best efforts of Renegades, AVANGAR have been able to hold on with the good work they had in some rounds prior. So the full buys will still be here. But now they've lost one of the AWPs. So what is the adjustment? Both teams in this half have been repeatedly adjusting to each other. AVANGAR adjusting with the double AWPs. Renegades adjusting from ecos to force buy, well, force buys to ecos to buy rounds to those 2 AWPs, and there will actually be a second AWP once again, but Renegades won't know this, so they're going to have to find out potentially the hard way. 7-6, the score is close as we head towards half-time.
Indeed, it is very close. An exciting matchup between these two. Gratisfaction, oh my god, this is so cool. Very rarely see this one. Will it pay off though? No one jumping across the connector at the beginning of the round for JKS to catch. And there's the smoke, so that played unfortunately for Renegades. This wasn't the round for it. And AVANGAR taking absolutely no risks. I really like to see that. And it's a key cut. He is quite an aggressive player. I have to say, he's very entertaining to watch.
Look at Dren's position again. Well, he's going through the crawl space now into the window, but I feel like once more he's being forced to play 2 Renegades as opposed to AVANGAR's own game. If you're on a T side and you can force CTs to respond to you rather than play their own game, as AVANGAR like to do, then that can certainly help. But James is still an issue in this connector position. That was a close one. You could see the pixel gap towards the B bomb site. You do not walk peek those angles for a reason. He's learned the hard way. You can see the bomb is in the apartments at present to be collected by JKS in this 3 versus 5.
Maybe that's a lapse of focus there, James. They have been seeing those double ops out on AVANGAR frequently, especially from that B position. James looking back into middle here. AVANGAR staying active, but Azza, he could turn the tide, he could make the difference. Picks up a frag, and that will make things a little bit easier here. But there's 30 seconds to go. They have to get the bomb into B. It's the only option. Azza tries to push forwards. There has to be a trade. There's the trade. It's JKS moving into the B bomb site. JKM playing to kill the rotation there from the jungle position. This is key. Both players have to perform here. JKM's down. All on JKS now.
2 rifles and the AWP. It's just about winning a round at this point. Although the money is low, but that has to be the priority. You can spray that position from the window. James could actually shoot. If he knows his lineup, that's a very nice grenade. They've got time, they're patient. JKS has to make the forward play. With 3 players alive, he has to take them out. He can't just stand and wait for them to collapse on his position. Does the best he can, but the odds are just against him. And it will be round number 8 for AVANGAR with 3 players surviving, and the second AWP will be collected.
Yeah, I think you make a really good point there, James. I think that just really highlights that it was very smart that there's a player, at least one player for AVANGAR, holding for the push as his teammates are pushing forwards. And it was a Dren there, and he does pick up the kill. So 8-6, and these double orbs have really been amazing for AVANGAR. They've worked out in so many rounds. And Buster's having a great performance. Buster 16 for 7. I feel like through each week, we've seen him get stronger and stronger, and he is needed. But we're back into it now. James makes the catwalk jump finally, and let's see what he goes for. He might have a good timing here. But Renegades, they tried to nuke the connector position. Good thing that James didn't miss the jump this time, James.
Very good. Maybe things are on his side for the time being. Renegades move towards the A bomb site. James still waiting in mid. Only 2 players to contest A on the AVANGAR side. The bomb is thrown on the floor for a brief time. Never want to do that. There can be enough of a sound cue. That molly on Tetris is really important, but Renegades are charging into the site, taking some grenade damage. Will the boost come in time? Kika ready and waiting. Spotting 1 player jumping up. That's the bomb as well. That's all the information they need. Full rotation coming in now for AVANGAR.
There it is, trying to keep themselves in a position where Elias can be pushed this CT spawn position. They have to gain some ground, they have to get some kills. They need to create the space, but now they have to play defensively. That's not bad though. Gratisfaction picks up 1. The bomb needs to get planted still, however, and it's not looking good. They're trying to create cover with all of the spray, but there's a stalemate at this point. Oh my goodness! You can't jump that. Gratisfaction with a punish. that is a turning point perhaps, but James has the AWP himself, and he's got great coverage. James, there's nowhere for them to go to plant this bomb. Every angle's covered.
Sanji jiggles and he sees JKS. JKS is carrying the bomb. That's the crucial information. No grenades left for Renegades. It has to be the hard way. Waiting to punish the curiosity, Sanji. He's a brave soul, he always is. Jay moving into a more forward position. Adren got tagged to 15 HP earlier on. Oh, the flames up. JK's got to go forward. He's got 6 HP in 13 seconds, but there's a huge headshot. He's alone now. He's alone, 1 versus 2. Both the CTs are too far away to find both frags. Almost getting Adren. Now he's got to commit to it. Will there be a spray? Sanji's out in the open, but it's too late. Adren with a USB. 9 rounds at half-time. He baited them, but he couldn't quite find the frag stand.
My heart, James, my heart. Oh my God, I almost exploded out of my chest. He made the perfect play, I can't believe it. High energy finish at the end of the first half. 6 rounds for Renegades, 9 for AVANGAR. We'll have to see if Renegades can bounce back after the break.
Welcome back. At half-time, AVANGAR leads by 3 rounds after a very wild last round. Very, very wild. People just doing some crazy, I don't know what they were doing, some crazy things were happening.
So intense, James.
Indeed, but the score is still close. I told you how important it was for JKS and Jacob to deliver on previous CT sides of Mirage for Renegades. Now's the time for them to do it again. Again, both these teams fighting to take a lead as they try to head to the grand finals. Berlin, make some noise in this bitch!
Here we go, straight through the B apartments. Contact B play. A lot of teams are liking the stack B on the CT side though, so we'll see if this continues for Renegades, because they have some decent presence on the bomb site. We see that classic crossfire between JKS and Leas. Is it going to pay off though? There's the flashbang, still good enough. They will be free to get the headshots. JKS annihilates 2 players. The executioner, JKS, on the B bomb site, cleans up the opposition, and it doesn't seem like there's much left to do here for Adren. He is stuck in the B apartments. There's nowhere to go, and Asa will finish it off.
Has the pistol round started yet? Asking for a friend. That was pretty damn solid for Renegades. Even with that crossfire, after they get those first 2 frags, they've got 2 guys on short. They're going to have 4 people on the B bomb site very, very quickly. Great response from Renegades, coming in with the blue sirens wailing, and they took control of the situation.
JKS is like a human guillotine, just chopping those heads off.
He's a beast. We've watched him for years, and it has been very enjoyable the whole time. He makes it look easy. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
The investment in this round is 2 P250s for AVANGAR, a total of $600. You get a kill with a P250, it pays for itself. 300 for 3. Oh! Oh man, it's too early. This is not past the watershed. It is Germany though, after all. That's a very quick anti-eco, and Renegades make their way to 8.
Very quick. That must be one of the fastest ones we've seen all major. That's insane. That opening headshot. We're getting some tasty frags, I have to say. Renegades really stepping up. I don't know what the pep talk was like in halftime, but it's worked.
Okay, it is buy time for AVANGAR. Their utility sucks. They don't have a lot of grenades. They have prioritized the AK-47s, which is interesting because they're one of the teams who will sacrifice a few weapons to get more utility. That smoke grenade goes deep into B apartments. It will cause problems for a lurker. There is the smoke being delivered. Thank you, Mr. Sliggy. Still a one-round lead for AVANGAR, but again, this is the first buy round in the second half. Jacob gets taken out, pushing the Palace position. Buster, a good one to watch in that respect on how you wait for a potential push for CTs, the timing in general.
Yeah, and this is, of course, being that bonus round. I wonder if Renegades are going to try to take some risks. For AVANGAR, they have 3 smokes left, and that's, 3 smokes is the perfect amount to pretty much do whatever you want, but at this point, of course, they just need to get onto a bomb site sooner than later, as they don't have any. You can't really spare the utility to gain position towards the site. You now need it just to execute onto the site. We might have a fake coming in here, as we've got 2 players coming out of the Palace. How is this going to work out for AVANGAR? This could be very sneaky indeed. You don't often expect the first player to peak to be from Palace, and then to be a trade fragger as well. This could be huge right now. Buster going for the first kill. The trade is not there. Great performance from Azza, and right now Renegade still wary of an A push, and this is the timing window for AVANGAR to get into B, and it is completely open. It has worked.
They have to take market, though. They can't just sit on the site. They need a forward position. They need a tight choke point. They have no idea. They're taken by surprise that no one is on the B bomb site whatsoever. But so far, they're all holding on the site. Sanji delivers a smoke grenade towards that short position. They're assuming someone is maybe in market, maybe waiting for a rotation, so they haven't gone for a market push, feeling it was too risky. But this is going to allow Renegades some position. That said, Renegades are all coming in from the same position. AVANGAR don't know that, so they will worry about short. They'll worry about the apartments. This is going to be a ropey push from Renegades, trying to create some space with some grenades. Easy for a Renegade. He can spread that position, but not if all your teammates are dead. Azza with 12 HP, just trying to do some exit damage, but he's going to die. So he's going to lose a lot of money himself. And, is he going to get away in time?
It's going to be close, isn't it? Azza.
He's a man of calculation.
Very nice.
But indeed, the fake is sold. Just showing Azza enough information on default that Jiggle allowed him to just get that greater bit of focus. Takes out 2 players, but it's double figures for AVANGAR.
Yeah, that was really clean from Adren as well. It's good to see, Adren getting a performance, and I think we've seen so far during this tournament, he hasn't had the best performances. So we haven't thought about Adren when we're thinking about AVANGAR, but we know he is capable. As I think it was Thorin saying on the desk, he's had so many achievements, and they are so close to the grand finals of another major for him. And here comes a quick push up the catwalk position from AVANGAR, but Gratisfaction is there. He's got a lot of vision on this catwalk position. There's not much utility left for AVANGAR, James. They really need to get middle, but it looks like they may have to give it up, and I don't think they have really much in the way of options considering how low the utility is. They have to go back to A, and they've got to make this push work.
Renegades are essentially in retake positions. Again, they don't really have the right weapons for the job necessarily. There's no AWP just yet. Liaz has an MP9, but he's on the B bomb site, just like Sanji was earlier on, so that might not be the biggest of deals. But keep an eye on Jame and his slow rotation. He might be checked for by the CT side as a holding a Molotov, but where would he choose to throw it? Will it be towards the site? Oh, it's being deployed. There's a huge gap by the bench. Sanji will take advantage of that. Bomb being planted again. Jame is still lurking in a mid position. The bomb's been denied, though. They've got to get it planted soon. They have to, but maybe Jame will activate now.
Uh-oh, things are getting really dangerous. The smokes have gone. That was the cover to plant. This bomb site's so exposed, there's no place to actually plant safely at this point. They have to frag out, or they have to rotate out, one of the two. And it looks like they're going for the frags here. Taking the aim battles. Spray comes through for Buster, but it's only going to be one hit. It's looking like it's all Renegades. And indeed, Jake here shuts it down with a kill onto Keycut. And Renegades will survive with 3, and they will take a lovely bounty, James. 3 AK-47s. Can't be too sad about that.
Yeah, and you can see how focused the team are, not getting too excited. It's just one round, and there's plenty more to come. Very back and forth game of Mirage so far. That's what we want to see. Now, what we have to see is if Renegades can stabilize at this point. They have taken 3 of the 4 rounds so far. If we ignore the pistol, it's quite the back and forth. Early Molotovs towards the ramp, flashbang over the top, into mid in case there's a fast play there, but AVANGAR are focused on the A bomb site. They haven't quite found themselves with the perfect buy just yet. It will be a fast one after all, a ding-dong from Adren, and they will continue to press forward. Jacob's got nice angles though, and very good aim.
Good stuff though. Jane will trade. That does allow his teammates to push forwards for a bomb plant. But again, got to make it happen before the smokes go away. Gratisfaction has an angle if they were to plant towards triple. Going for the spray though, knows that they're going for the default plant. Up on top of Ticket, you don't expect this. Jane from high, but Gratisfaction will spot him from the stairs position. That's absolutely key. Big risk there from Jane, and it doesn't pay off. But still, there is a chance. Sanji's remaining with a rifle. Buster on a deagle. It's not going to look good, but they could maybe find a way here.
Buster's in a really hard spot. He's kind of stuck in sandwich. If he goes forward, he's seen from triple. Sanji to trade. He finds two, but he cannot find the third. Renegades just about survive. Liaz, the only man alive. They've done a lot of damage, AVANGAR, to the economy of Renegades. We asked about stabilizing that consistency, but maybe that comes into question as Renegades tie the score. Because if you look at the money, there may be some issues. Now, AVANGAR have a decision to make that. I
think it's an easy one here for them. They love a good force buy, and it's not going to look too bad. Some of the players had good enough money, and we're going to see a MAC-10. The AWP will feature onto Jame. So it's going to look pretty strong. A Deagle on a Dren, so they have enough utility to pretty much work any area of the map. This is a big round, a really big round. At 10-10, AVANGAR go for the force buy to try to punish Renegades, lacking economy. James flashed off the angle. Gratisfaction, it's a close one. Sees an elbow, but can't find the punish.
Maybe the respect for his opponent causes him to strafe a little. They both know the angles. Look at that flash from James.
Can't watch this, James. They keep retaking the position.
Yeah, and it's awesome to watch if you can stomach it. A minute 25 on the clock for AVANGAR. Kika has a grenade lined up, a smoke for the window. James rotates towards A, the fourth player to go in that direction. Kika will perhaps try to invite CTs to defend the mid position with the smoke grenade. You can see her focus, maybe fear of a potential boost. Renegades moving into CT spawn now. JKS with a very timely HE grenade. So far, so good in that respect, but there's a smoke. That's it for Renegades. No support flashes, nothing. They've got a frag out.
And JKS in a key position, but Gratisfaction as well, working that AWP like a dream from triple, and it just gets worse for AVANGAR because JKS activates as well from the shadow position, and now Kika, he's not really got anywhere to go, and it's up to Jane, but he just has to try to maybe even keep this AWP alive, try to do some amount of damage. They can't leave this round with no damage. Great flick, but the punish is guaranteed for JKS, and Renegades pick it up with 4 players surviving. That's absolutely what they needed. Their economy was awful before, but now this could be the turning moment for them.
JKS, the Oceanic Terminator, 21 for 12 at the moment. Wow. Not a fan of being fragged, and he is playing strong for his team at present. There's been a few rounds where Renegades have survived with one player, but they're surviving. They are stringing all the rounds together. AVANGAR have won just a single round so far. If you ignore the pistol, it's 3-1 to Renegades in terms of the buy rounds and the rounds beyond the pistol. And that might be telling in this first map. Just one round ahead at the moment. And again, we did mention just one player surviving for Renegades. AVANGAR with a choice to make, and they will choose aggression. They will choose raw and attrition. Sorry, it was the round prior with one.
There it is, Gratisfaction absolutely shutting this one down. And I gave all the space for JKS to find that peak. And Renegades are looking pretty good at this point. AVANGAR struggling to find their way in on their T side. I think one of the issues we've seen for AVANGAR so far is that they aren't being as successful getting middle control as Renegades were on Renegades' T side. And that might be an issue they may have to solve, because it seems when they come back for these set pieces, it gets a bit too chaotic, and there's not a consistent advantage to work with.
Sponge is in the crowd with the Renegades fans. Respect.
Good to see
I'm giving them space. I don't know if you can hear it on the stream, but when these guys are screaming, I'm just giving them space to go for it. So there was a round reset. AVANGAR picks up the odd SMG, the odd bits and bobs here and there. So I thought they were going to try and do something, but the round was restored, so I don't know if it was an auto buy or whatever it was, but it will just be a few pistols, a few flashbangs for the likes of AVANGAR in the first game of this best-of-3 series, at least, well, for this particular round, should I say. Let's not get too carried away. Gratisfaction in the connector position. I told you he was aggressive, man. He's maybe got the rabies or the bath salts. I don't know. Either way, he'll get the opening kill, but maybe his timing was off a little bit. No support for him in a mid position, and against an eco, you can't be making these mistakes when you have a chance to make it to grand finals.
Yeah, and James giving Renegades a bit of the Azza treatment with that push through to market. This could be a huge play. Now, his teammates have to survive whilst he makes this one happen, because if everybody goes down, James' position doesn't become nearly as impactful, of course. So here it is, and he might just get a gun from this as well if he can get the kill into Liaz, and it looks guaranteed.
Nice.
He is waiting for it. There it is, makes it guaranteed, but oh dear, he can't pick up the gun. Azza's blocking that. This is a problem. Azza is a huge problem from this position. The longer he stays alive, the more trouble AVANGAR are in.
Yeah,
and in comes the reinforcements.
Yeah, it's risk for Azza as well. He can't just try and stop everything because he's got to play for the round and not necessarily the position. JKS is here, but the bomb has been planted. Let's not forget, that was an eco for AVANGAR. So that's a great success. They get 2 frags, they plant the bomb. That's bonus money, especially considering their investment. Again, it's an awkward situation for Azza. He can't just go and try and stop them as they swarm into the site. He needs to play for the long haul, and that's what they do. 3 players survive, and they make it to 12.
And poor James as well. That M4 just out of arm's reach. But as you say, definitely a lot of positives, the silver lining in that round. They did what they needed to do, and out comes the AWP on Jane once again. A 4x for AVANGAR as Renegades are looking rather indomitable. They're picking up pace, they're picking up momentum, and we'll have to see if AVANGAR can find a way to put something in the spokes to stop those wheels from turning, because Renegades are quickly moving towards that finish line in map 1. And this faction, can't make the jump across, blocked by the smoke grenades. Don't often see that, but see if he can do anything from connector. James trying to take over mid with the rest of the team. We said this, they need to get middle control. That has to be an improvement for AVANGAR.
5 smokes up at the moment, 3 in mid, 1 on ramp, and 1 by the B windows. A flash over the top from Gratisfaction. Trying to take position the hard way. That's so cheeky, but he doesn't take the bait. That might give James the wrong level of confidence, although Gratisfaction moves away. Molly in case somebody's just around the corner. That's quite smart, because if they were waiting to pop by somebody from top mid, but again, you can't make these errors, man. You can't just take that position for free. Too hungry in that mid position. Once again, he's been punished.
You can see, he tried to flash his way into the angle, but perhaps you want a teammate to go for that flash. You can peek it more quickly. Either way, Renegades a little bit desperate here. J-Chem looking to defend the boost over the top of the smoke and Buster. See anything? Oh, just barely not. This boost all over the place here. One towards Catwalk. It looks like Renegades will have a superior boost, and they're not looking too bad here, but James will find a way to bring an advantage back into AVANGAR's favor, and Kika starts to work into the A bomb site. JKS though, he's got a feeling, his intuition has been sparked. He knows something might be up here. He's in a key position to hold on to this bomb site for Renegades.
AVANGAR know there are 2 players towards B because of the boost, so time is on their side. If they can push with good time and win the duel, Adren punishes the rotation. JKS taken out. Again, so important on the A bomb site, good position, but he can't make it work on this occasion. That leaves Liaz from B. Again, they know that second player was towards the B bomb site, and AVANGAR finds success on A. A very interesting exchange with multiple boosts around the mid at the same time. But again, the frags go the way of AVANGAR. They have the information, they know where the biggest weakness is, and they seize the A bomb site.
Yeah, it was interesting to see the boost convention in middle, and Renegades still unfortunate. I think that play from Gratisfaction, I wonder how effective that flash was, because James didn't seem to come off the angle. So maybe that flash actually just completely missed. It looked improvised.
Yeah, again, I think we've seen unnecessary risks from both snipers around the mid position, outstaying the welcome in mid, not having support from the team. Again, some teams you can do it against, some teams you can't. If you get confidence making those plays and being successful versus one team, whereas another team will punish you, then it may prove very costly indeed. Not too costly just yet, though, for Renegades. They're still in the lead. They still have some weapons, and they can spread the wealth and buy around what they've saved.
I think the cool thing as well is that, Renegades, they have a lot of options for aggression that they haven't really tested too much. We've seen some light palace aggression, but ultimately we haven't seen a big mid push. We haven't seen an underpass push. It's been somewhat conservative so far for Renegades, so AVANGAR need to be very cautious that they do not get caught out in this round. And I love that we see the classic SMG on Sanji James. I feel like he is a master with that weapon. He can do some magical things. We'll have to see exactly the utility that MAC-10 will provide AVANGAR with whatever strategy they decide to run in this round.
Tactical timeout has come and gone now. AVANGAR need to have a read as to the situation Renegades might be in. Are they going to be short on utility? Are they going to be likely to make a play? I mean, with Gratisfaction, that's always likely, but perhaps something more than that. Not long to find out now. Sniper rifle for both sides. Grenades in the mid position. Jacob goes through the underpass. Now Sanji's the man up top. Don't think he's heard anything just yet. Sanji seems to have no idea. He's making a forward play towards B. He's trying to bait them maybe. AVANGAR being patient around the rest of the map. Jay moving through mid, but this is a big situation. But Sanji's looking for it now. He's facing this direction, but he's got the MAC-10. I told you, the MP9 and MAC-10, it's like he doesn't have rifles in his menu.
Ooh, and there it is, a punish from JChem. He manages to find himself that flank, and as for the MP9, all fold as well. The SMG's not having much luck, and all of a sudden, Renegades have lost basically everybody. Great individual plays across the map for AVANGAR. We saw both teams making these slight individual plays, and AVANGAR managed to tip things in their favor on this occasion. And that's going to tie things up 12-12, unless JChem, I don't know, finds something magical, but very unlikely from this position. Their money's so bad, he just wants to keep this M4 in his hands, so they have something to work with on the next round, which will be a save. And ooh, it's not a good situation. They've won so many rounds so far that they're not going to have any loss bonus. So AVANGAR should be good to convert 1 or 2 off of the back of this round win, James, and they're going to build a lot of money to boot.
Getting pretty tight in this first map. This was such a hard pick for me. I really feel like there's no bad choice between these two teams. It really is 50-50, and seems to be at the moment. AVANGAR have found a way to win rounds in the second half, and maybe this is the perfect time to do it again. If you look at the first 7 rounds, 6 of them went to Renegades in this half. But now AVANGAR are starting to pull things back, and they're breaking the money of Renegades on the CT side in a very crucial part of the game. It's round 25.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really interesting. I mean, you do have to consider that, yes, Renegades won both pistols, and they converted 3 rounds, including the pistol, of course, on the first half, and they converted 2 on the second half. So very close game between these two teams. James will make his way across middle, taking a light bit of damage. Up on the boxes there at top mid, looking for something. Of course, it's just USPs here. A full save from Renegades. This should be for AVANGAR a point where they can really start to dictate the pace, as Renegades can't offer up much of a defense with just these USPs. But we'll see if they can get creative. That's what it's about in rounds like this, just getting creative.
Nerdy stats for you. JKS headshot ratio, currently 73%. Not the most important stat, but that's pretty damn high. The Dren has done 276 grenade damage in this game so far. Keycurt second with 204, JKS third with 177, and their CT side is still continuing, so that might rise. Sanji, the information man, he's got the Mac on, he's got the bowler hat. He's going to find out what the situation is on the B bomb site. You'll see that no one seems to be here. There's no boost. There's a smoke on short. So Ladder is contained as far as the bomb site is concerned. You can see him keeping an eye on things, and the bomb is rotating. The Dren's there as well. Keycurt towards A-ramp, just keeping the CTs honest for now, but you don't want to give up an AK-47, so he may choose to rotate. He's actually being flanked, unbeknownst to both players. Jacob pushing through Palace, Renegade starting to rotate. Again, you want to keep high ground control. Very important when you're on the B bomb site. See what Renegades choose to do. They didn't really invest a whole lot, so they don't have much to lose.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a loss for them that they can't find a way to trade a play, but maybe they get Keycurt here. Oh, there you go. That's what you want to see. An AK collected, no way to punish that. No way to steal that back if you are AVANGAR. And I think, honestly, that's a huge win. That's a huge win. Renegades have found a way to steal a gun for themselves for the next round. That's huge win. We'll see if it comes to pass. That AK is instrumental in this next round as far as damage is concerned.
JKS also leading in enemies flash 27. Satisfaction 22. Those two far ahead of everybody else. So they're doing a lot. Dan managed to hit his microphone on the table. That's really impressive, Dan.
Thank you.
AVANGAR, 1 round in the lead.
Absolutely, it's not looking too bad for them now, but of course, Renegades have had a lull due to the fact that their economy has not been looking all that good. But now this is where things could change, although working without an AWP is definitely a change of pace for them, not having Gratisfaction able to harass middle with that. AVANGAR going to be looking confident, and here it is, big mid play. Jacob leads the way with the AK-47, and they have that deep smoke at top mid. And there goes some deep nades as well to try to do damage to AVANGAR, but AVANGAR managed to evade all the damage, and this is a problem for Renegades because Big play to take map control. However, now AVANGAR could just slow the round down to a painful pace for Renegades because Renegades have dumped all their utility to take middle. And Jame will try to get something here if Renegades were to double down on this mid push in some respects.
Do Renegades feel inclined to make a forward play somewhere? Maybe with the B player or something. They've got to feel nervous about this. The grenades continue to come in. Jacob, only good for one. Azar looking to deliver, but he'll get taken out. Kika, impact frags. Radaz faction won't fight to the death. 4 bullets, rotates away. 3 versus 3. They need that personnel up. Sanji lurking towards the B bomb site. There's potential to split now if Adren can make his way into the apartments. We've got Jame lurking. Radaz faction takes one to the face. Now Liaz has a lot to do. Sanji's creeping alone. Maybe the bomb's been spotted, but perhaps not. Is he going to keep going? Liaz might actually have the jump on him. Sanji, does he change his position? No, he doesn't, but he's alive for now. That's the information, though. But JKS is so far away. He's just standing at Palace, and he's not really rotating just yet. Surely that's a bomb on the radar. Surely he's got to go for it, but it might be a lurker. Liaz has so much to do. He's playing time. He needs that rotation. JKS is still not coming just yet. 19 seconds to plant the bomb. Sanji's creeping, but Jame out of nowhere.
Yeah, decisions had to be made, and Jame makes a critical one, taking down Liaz, but up to JKS. He has been incredible so far, and he's looking to do something incredible here. Sanji, with that AK-47, is so dangerous. They have the flashbangs to smoke as well. Jame looking for the shot with the AWP. Surely he is favored on these peaks against JKS, but JKS is finding his way forward, edging closer and closer to try to make this clutch a reality as Jame and Sanji make this painful. They try to go for the double peak, but the timing's not perfect. Jame dies! And JKS, has he got time? There's no kit. Has he got time? This is going to be so close. 5 seconds. Can JKS make it work? Right down to the wire, and he's managed to do it. JKS again cannot be stopped, having the game of his life at the semi-finals of this Berlin Major, the deepest run Renegades have ever had, and he's showing up in more ways than one.
Unbelievable. Liaz bought enough time. JKS, he's the man you want as the last man standing. Jame creeping.
The communication on that peak, James, it must have been off there. That was quite a delayed trade frag attempt. But they've got to rally themselves here. It's 13-13. We're nearly at the end of the first map. It's been so close.
There are 4 smokes on the B bomb site. Can we just... There are
marvel,
4 smokes,
marvel at it.
But no one's making a play. There are 4 smokes on the B bomb site. There were 7 smokes up at once at the beginning of the round. When do you see that? But still, there's no play being made by AVANGAR. So I don't know what kind of response they're trying to bait in that situation. The bomb is down in T-spawn, hasn't been collected, so that's a curious one. But here we are, Renegades still in this game. You can see JKS, he's had some frustration, wasn't too happy about that particular round, but they're here. 13-13. Utility is low for Renegades, but they've got clutch in these players. Maybe they won't need it, that utility. Liaz is moving forward in B apartments, actually. That's really important. That's what you need when you don't have many grenades to play with.
This is a big setup, though, on the A side. Renegades are very committed here. They need to make the frags happen. They know they don't have utility to retake, so they have to stop the bomb from even going down. That's the objective. Grandis faction gets caught, but they are distracted, and the lineup comes in, but it's now down to JKS again, looking to be an indomitable force, but finally, Sanji will take him out. It's 2 players left for AVANGAR as they edge their way back onto the bomb site. These duels are important. Time is being bought. Adren, he's got to sprint all the way. He's got to pick up that bomb. Azza can play the time.
The only place he can plant the bomb is on the side of triple. That's it. That's his only chance. It's either that or go for the 1 versus 1. It is a game of chicken. Azza moving forward. Adren's got no idea. He knows the play. There he is. The plant is there for AVANGAR, but the round is here for Renegades. They move to 14. You can see Kassad very happy with that.
Ooh, yeah, that's a really big one because it's actually kind of crazy because it's so important that Adren got that bomb down. The money's going to be really, really tight here. AVANGAR are going to have to take some decisions. I wouldn't be surprised to see a tactical timeout of some description. Actually, I misread that completely, James. They're totally fine. And that's good. That's good news for them. It's good news for us, too, because this is going to be competitive all the way to that 30th round.
It's a big opportunity for AVANGAR. A big opportunity. Only 1 player surviving for Renegades, and the T side has lots of cash. The loss bonus for Renegades is minimal. and it's almost max for AVANGAR, so they have a ginormous chance ahead of them. If they win this round, they might win the game.
Runners faction looking for something in middle. AVANGAR not doing too much there. James trying to catch that jump peak that we've seen punished. Well, I would say we've seen punished. It's just Sanji that's been punished on that one. But maybe James can find something as well. Looking for a push as well, or an AWP to take that position. Just lying in wait. And the rest of AVANGAR are ready to burst off of the back of the play, should one be made, to James's crosshair. As we'll go closer. As AVANGAR, they didn't get what they wanted. They will fall back, but James, there's a minute to go. And again, Renegades are just out of utility. Again.
Yeah, but they have stopped they've stopped plan A from AVANGAR. They put the smoke in the apartments and they've had to abort, and they have no map control. They have no idea if anybody's in Palace or anything like that. Previously, Liaz pushed through the apartments. He's boosted up at the moment. He's on the balcony. We'll see if he makes a forward play. He's got an MP9. He could be flashed in from Azza, who's playing on the site, but for now they're playing the crossfire. 40 seconds remain. Renegades can quickly have 3 players on the A bomb site. The grenades start to stream in. We've got instant reaction. Jacob coming through connector again. Jacob and JKS, the double J, the jugs, they're so important to defend A for Renegades.
JKS has been an absolute juggernaut. Oh, the lineup for JKM is absolutely disgusting. He gets a triple straight away, crippling the push. AVANGAR just have Jame and Kika, and they don't have time. This bomb plot has to go down. Jame won't be stopped. Kika takes control, defends CT, and now it's down to Liaz and Gratisfaction on the way back in. They have no utility. Liaz is on an MP9, swaps out for the M4. In they go. Jame spots it as he crosses over towards Ticket. And Keycode is there as well. They have to find the perfect timing. Jame on the crouch. Gratisfaction takes it down. Keycode is all on Jame now. All on Jame. Has to pick the perfect moment. Looking for it, and he gets it. That's the bomb diffuser down, and now it's just one more to go. Gratisfaction, he tried to hold his nerve, but Gratisfaction takes it, and he has time. Renegades move to 15. Can you believe it?
It is a game of millimeters. It is a game of millimeters. Renegades gets a game point. Again, AVANGAR, a max loss bonus. They get a bomb plant. They've got money in the bank. Again, Renegades survive with 1 player. If they lose 1 round, we're probably going to overtime, but they keep winning the rounds. When they've got 1 player left, they keep winning, they keep surviving. They've got clutch. Jacob, Norgay coming in strong. Look at this spray down, absolutely ridiculous. Pesticides in the face, there's no survival from that.
That is insane. I can't believe he gets 3 there. Oh my God, Renegades. I feel like AVANGAR are playing a slightly better Counter-Strike on Mirage, but Renegades have that clutch. Oh my God, AVANGAR need to dig deep here. Last chance saloon for them. At least they have the money for the big buy, and James is looking for the aggression. Gratisfaction. How far is he willing to go? Well, it looks good enough because Adren's going to walk straight into his crosshair, and he falls back, and I'm sure there's a big grin. That'll be on his face a bit later, because that was a free one.
Gratisfaction does what he wants, damn it, and most of the time it works, and what a time to do it. AVANGAR low on utility, Renegades low on utility, but high in personnel. Buster taken out. Finally, there's something from AVANGAR. Both teams had to come into this one confident. Kika gets a very important frag from Palace, falls away before Gratisfaction can take revenge. And the bomb's not being spotted. Currently moving through T-spawn towards the A bomb site. There are still 2 players in B for Renegades, but one is slowly moving towards that jungle position. AVANGAR looking to burst from the Palace. Gratisfaction's close, he's playing shotgun mode.
Oh no.
He's playing Left 4 Dead that.
Oh no, he's got no, there's no way that he can kill 3 players here. He will drop down into the shadow position, but time is really of the essence again for AVANGAR. They're going to have to go for it. Flick shot doesn't connect, but Kika certainly does. And now it is a very, very hard retake for Renegades. Their money is in the bin, James. They've got no money.
It is.
Renegades have no money.
It's in the sewers of Overpass. It smells of ammonia and bin juice.
I think we might be looking at an overtime here, unless something goes horribly wrong for AVANGAR in the next round.
Again, Renegades have won 3 rounds in a row, all by defuse, and they haven't had many people standing. Their loss bonus is minimal, and they have an MP9 and an M4A4. So I think it's a really weird scenario, though, because AVANGAR have got to know they've got a huge advantage, but they might overplay that. They might start to play slow. They might start to use a clock until it becomes an enemy. So there may be chances for Renegades, because AVANGAR have got to look, they've got to expect some kind of crazy aggression from Renegades. It's standard, it's textbook, it's what you normally do. But if that doesn't come through, and AVANGAR are just waiting too long, if Renegades find the right place to push, if they put somebody in Palace, if they go up the balcony, then there could still be disaster for AVANGAR. Nothing is guaranteed in this round.
It feels like Renegades have been hanging on the side of a cliff by their fingernails for so long, trying desperately to claw their way back up to some kind of a stable position, but it keeps requiring just immense clutches to bring themselves into. I mean, in fact, they were ahead for a while, of course, through those clutches, but again, it just looked like AVANGAR hitting them with better counter-strike, but Renegades are hitting them with more clutch. And honestly, that's when you get some of the most exciting moments, and we might be going right down to the wire here because AVANGAR, again, all the money to work with, all the toys, but Renegades, we have a CZ-75, a Deagle, an M4, an MP9, and an AK-47, and about 8 grenades or something in that region.
JKS has the AK though. That's the man you want with the AK, I'd say. JKS or Azo, who's really good for multi-frag. He's got an M4, and Gratisfaction is the first one to fall. A good start for AVANGAR, a very good start indeed. Does that encourage a push? You'd expect AVANGAR to rotate elsewhere. We'll see how Renegades respond to that. They're moving away from the ramp. But again, Jacob's only got a Desert Eagle, and now he's dead. The rifles remain with the MP9.
JKS is still alive with an AK-47 though, James. If Azza can hold this position, and he looks like he might be able to do so, takes down Buster. Maybe they'll go towards the A bomb site where JKS is, and it looks like they may be thinking about that. They still have all the options available to them. This smoke is very annoying. You don't necessarily want to push that. You have the advantage, you have the numbers. Take it easy, the smoke goes away. AVANGAR start to flow through onto that A bomb site now, but JKS, he lurks around the corner, having an incredible display of skill so far, but Sanji has a better position. He'll shut him down, and AVANGAR, they've secured overtime against Renegades. My God, James, we're going to get more of this.
I want more.
I'm damn happy about that.
Absolutely. I am hungry for more rounds on Mirage. Well, he's pretty happy with that. But one team's going to be sad after this game is over, that's for sure. The money is reset. $10,000 per person. See if Renegades start with one AWP or if they'll mix things up in their first round on the CT side. Really important for for both of these teams to take a lead in this series, but only one team can, and I couldn't pick between them. Thus 2 comes after this. But first, we must find a conclusion for Mirage. No AWP for AVANGAR, interesting. If they win the round, I suppose they could steal one should they want to. The AKs would be good for a fast round. The smoke grenade is up on B early from the CT side. Azar just walking out there, not expecting AVANGAR to be in the underpass. James almost looked away. I did wonder what was going to happen there, but here we are. An early 5 versus 4 for AVANGAR.
Yeah, that's a huge opening kill to find, and I mean, it's just the dream situation. If you're a caller, you get that really fast pick, and look at this, we get the double down move from Renegades. They have to take a big risk to try to mitigate the disadvantage they're working with. They try to play for info, and they'll get the information, but they won't have the bodies towards the bomb site, and I don't know if they'll find rotation in a timing that will allow them to do much. Unless somehow JKS finds something, but he's in ticket, playing a retake position. Okay, he's going past the smoke. He's looking to do big damage. It's all on JKS. If he can get 2 to 3 kills, that's what he needs to try to save this. There's a chance. There's number 1. There's number 2. JKS moves around the side of default, but he'll finally be taken down. Has he done enough, though?
There's a gap for Liaz. He's had a quiet game so far, but he might just see it. Dren, he's forced away by the flashbang. That could have been everything, but it ended up being nothing. In the meantime, Jacob is flanking. He's towards that A ramp position. Gratisfaction with Graves towards CT for his teammate. Sanji's been taken out. The flank has been activated. Now the remaining players of AVANGAR are in a sandwich, and that sandwich does not taste very nice at all. Buster, 1 versus 3. Needs to make a forward play. Don't know where he is. Just Jake gets his bell rung, though. 10 HP for Buster. Switches out for another rifle. 16 bullets, but they won't matter. Gratisfaction will get that final kill, and Renegades take the first round. They were really out of position there. It was a great effort with those first 2 frags because they were looking for players towards the B bomb site. They weren't sure what was going on. And if you look at how Renegades started the round, I don't know if they thought there was a play towards B. I don't know what Azza was doing standing on the window at that point, but it must have thought some information was good, but it was really bad.
I'll just say that JKS is... Oh, wow, that's not bad from the S. Good lineup there. But yeah, can I just say that JKS is in incredible form. Delivering 2 kills there, and as you say, that also then provided the delay that was necessary. That is insane, and that's the only reason they were able to win that round. He is in the zone right now. Gratisfaction towards Catwalk. Looking for a play into mid, but there's nothing just yet. But eventually there will be. AVANGAR take 2 players who are going to pass first.
Look at that HE. HE is juicy, and it's going to get worse. Surely there's a trade from window. Indeed there is. But AVANGAR are the ones who are one sort of good. Jacob's at the 12 HP. Buster deploying. Thought it might have been the HE, but it wasn't. 4v3 for AVANGAR. Nothing is guaranteed, however. We've got Sanji making his way towards the B bomb site, and you can see that this distraction in mid is causing problems. How's he got here? Is he teleporting? We've still got JKS in the palace, Kika on the ramp. So this is a very interesting situation. AVANGAR haven't gone past the choke point of the B bomb site just yet, and that's allowing Elias to rotate back in towards B.
That's an important flashbang to try to take some position back into the bomb site. We get the flank coming in as well. J-Chem, though, he's got 12 HP and all the information. Now they see the A is clear as well, AVANGAR, but do they have time? Do they feel confident to go for a rotation? There's J-Chem. Oh, 12 HP, not a single bullet landed onto him. Buster needs to get something. No, how has he done this? The bomb's down on the ground, and it's just Sanji and Kika left. There's 30 seconds to go. They have to kill J-Chem. Finally, they'll do it, but there's so much damage. What do they do now?
Down the underpass he goes. Again, that information from Kika may have just cost everything. They wait for the info, but there are so many flanks from Renegades, but now they've managed to go past. This is absolutely ridiculous, but where do they plant the bomb? Does it go for the inverse plant? It will be indeed. It's planted for everywhere, and Renegades won't know where the T's are. They've got no vision from short. They could be CT, they could be jungle, they could be pretty much anywhere on the map, so it's going to be a slow approach from Renegades. JKS has got one flashbang, which maybe he throws for Liaz. Very scary situation for Renegades.
It's incredibly scary, but I don't even know how they are making this doable, but coming 2 through ticket to try to retake this. There's no nades left on AVANGAR. They'll have to find good timings on the peaks. That pressure on the clock is very, very huge for Renegades. Timely peek from Kika, takes down Liaz. JKS, nothing he can do. Kika takes him out, and AVANGAR pick up the round, but for it to be that close, I don't even know how that was possible. Jacob with 12 HP gets a double with an insane flank.
That looked absolutely precarious for AVANGAR. The fact they got out of that is unreal.
The composure to play that mid-round situation calmly and decisively is impressive, I have to agree.
Peaks from Kika towards the end there. Expecting the CT to have to touch the bomb or something, and you can see the frustration continues for JKS. That's been that way since the beginning, since that early hiccup. But they're still very much in this game at 16 apiece. One team looking for a lead at half-time. Gratisfaction still has the AWP. Liaz with the French gun. Some shortcomings now for Renegades.
And there goes the burst into mid from AVANGAR as he looked to take position, but Gratisfaction, he wants to get a punish, he wants to get a pick. Will anybody dare peek this position? And oh, the whiff from Gratisfaction, and James looks like he's just a little bit better in this round, and another early advantage for AVANGAR. And it starts to feel like AVANGAR are finding more consistent openings against Renegades. Renegades have to make it chaotic, and it's going to be very difficult to come back in this round, James. They don't have much firepower. There's a FAMAS on Liaz, and again, the utility is low for Renegades.
But where will the bomb go? That's the big question, because if it goes towards JKS and Jacob, I always believe in those two if they're alive. Sanji makes his way towards A, so I think it's going to be an A split. And it looks very, very likely, but Jacob's moving away. JKS is deep, but he is dependable, even in a bad situation. And he needs to be now. He's got no one to throw support flashes, nothing. He is as on his own as he possibly could be. He's playing on hard mode right now, however, difficulty will be reduced somewhat with Jacob making his way over. There's the initial engagement, there's one kill, instant trade though. Jacob is it, he has to deliver, but there's too many man now for AVANGAR in 3 different places, and they have the bomb site.
Speaking of delivering, Kika has been doing excellent work. And I don't know what Renegades can find here. But of course, they've got to go for it. Final round of this half, and Buster's waiting around the corner. As it's going to have to be really fast. He's going to have to predict this one. And there you go. He does take down Buster, but there's 3 more to go, and they know where he's coming from this time. And Kika, of course, takes him out. 17-16. It's AVANGAR with the lead at the end of the first half of the first overtime in the first map of this epic series.
James on 30 kills, JKS 29. Slowed down a bit in the second half, but still getting very important frags for his team. AVANGAR 1 round to the good. First team to 19 to take Mirage. Renegades need all 3 rounds in this half. AVANGAR need just the 2. AWP comes out for James. Buster hasn't bought yet. There we go. I did wonder, and I was not disappointed. 2 AWPs for AVANGAR, where they found some success until Renegades adjusted. So Renegades don't know what's happening, and now we've got a flip. Now it's Renegades' turn to have 5 AKs. They had some success with the fast rounds towards A, so maybe this is a read that there's 2 AWPs on deck.
Oh, but we've seen this before. Kiko's position, when he plays close here, he's absolutely deadly. We'll fall back to the shadow area, however. And we may have somewhat of a fake on our hands towards this B position to pull the AVANGAR defense out of the A bomb site. And indeed, that's what's happening. Kiko falling all the way back from the depths of A ramp towards Ticket now. So it's a retake setup on the A bomb site. AVANGAR, they will have to be very precise. They go back into that A bomb site. Renegades, can they get anything out of this? That's a very big nade, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a paper cut with vinegar. They continue to creep. Adren has the angle by the window, I think. Oh, he's on the bench. That Molotov.
He goes rotating.
Yeah, they're fully committing to this one. They are being baited. It's a little piece of squid on the hook, and AVANGAR can taste it in the water. They're all moving to the B bomb site. They've made a terrible mistake. All this for one frag. Where's all the commotion gone? Where are the queues? Nothing's happening.
And one key thing here as well, James, Renegades have full utility. They've walked into the A bomb site now, and they have full utility. So they, oh no! Oh, that's really bad. Buster taking down Liaz, who was trying to plant the bomb. The one position that wasn't covered by smoke. This is a really huge problem right now. Of course, CT is open now as well, and bomb will go down, but the positioning is not going to be that good for Renegades. They have to fall all the way back. There's no retake utility, but there's many bodies to throw at this A bomb site. Gratisfaction and JKS trying to hold it down. Gratisfaction, he has to do it all, but it's just too overwhelming. There's AVANGAR retake the A bomb site with 5 left alive, and they move to 18.
The slight lack of focus allowed the CTs to rotate. I wondered if they were going to swing on the second plant attempt. They could have gone for the inverse plant with angles on CT, or I don't know, but it is game point AVANGAR. They have 2 chances now to take Mirage over Renegades. You've got to see some nerves in this round. Some of these frags which didn't really work out for Renegades, but they're still alive for now. The 2 AWPs continue, of course, for AVANGAR, and Gratisfaction has his own as well. Renegades have to succeed. They have to prevail. They have to deliver in both these rounds. Jacobs race carring towards connector, Kiyojima style. Nothing doing just yet. Flames are up. James, he's been entrusted with the B bomb site. He'll get the Molotov up. Does he choose to take position? It seems he'll jump onto the balcony. There's going to be a lot of players going towards the B bomb site. Jacobs seeing the rotation, but he can't find the frag.
And now it's down to James. It's down to the B bomb site attack for Renegades. He falls back, he knows what's happening. Flashed off, flashed back. He might have to go all the way to market. Putting down the defensive smoker. Dren with the taps to take down Jake. He has to take down the bomb. There's the trade coming in from Liaz, but James still alive. Liaz takes down Buster as well. James, he won't have assistance. He has to somehow do this close range, but they'll be scoped, and his vision is obscured as well by this scope, but he may have found a position to work with. No, absolutely not. Liaz says no. And the Renegades, 3 versus 2 with that bomb now ticking away.
Last 2 CTs in the market. That grenade did not do enough damage. That smoke is a problem. There's a very fast rotation from Sanji towards a short position with the AWP. Doesn't see... Oh, he does see just a barrel. It is very wallbangable, that position. Liaz forced away, but Kika gets taken out in the meantime. And maybe it's time to save. James of 3,800, so I won't do the calculations, but maybe the save is in order. Renegades forced their way in. James managed to put a smoke up to give himself a little wall to allow rotation, but he couldn't find any angles.
Got to say as well, you know, Liaz has been by far the most quiet until this round. Liaz had 10 frags.
That peak was nasty.
And now he has 13. And he absolutely annihilated that defense by himself.
That peak was atrocious. That was an atrocity. That was a national tragedy for AVANGAR.
Talk about a time to turn up for Liaz, my God.
But he still needs to turn up. He still needs to turn up, Dan, because they've got to win 1 more round, at least, just to survive in this game of Mirage. The AKs are out on Renegades, as well as the AWP for Gratisfaction. The 2 orbs continue for AVANGAR. Enough money for the full buy in this round, and here is the action from Liaz. A wrecking ball. Wow. That was so fast from him.
What a kill. Here we go, Renegades fighting for the next overtime. If AVANGAR can still make this a W. James holds down the connector position. Buster looking in from Catwalk. See what he can find with his AWP, and will be in trouble potentially. To be careful, Jacob there. Jane will manage to find his way out.
That's really scary.
Really scary indeed. Jacob not really looking to slow down at all towards Connector. Very confident stuff from him. AVANGAR starting to feel pressured here, James, on this defense, and Jacob opens things up. Nice trade from James, but can he get out of there?
Going back to the well, he is aggressive, he's angry, the bomb has been dropped, but Azza can collect it. Man advantage for AVANGAR, but they've got no one towards CT. They've lost Kika, the impact frag man for the squad. Renegades need to get that bomb down fast. They go for the safe plant, the bad plant, but with CT, maybe it's not so bad. Look at the rotation from the CTs. We've got Sanji making his way towards ramp. We've got James. We've got double orbs in Connector. It's a weird retake. There's a chance for Renegades.
It really is. Would you want any other players from Renegades in this position with the AKs other than Azza and JKS, I wonder? As Azza looks to hold down the flank and JKS has to hold down the brunt of the attack from the Connector. Azza, he's done his job. Now JKS has to combine with him to take down the remainder, and they're not looking bad, are they? Jane with the AK doesn't know where to go for the spray as these players are all coming from both sides. There's no one to look, and Renegades have done it again. They are clutch, so damn clutch. My God.
And that's the boost they need. Everybody warming up now, running real hot as this game continues. 18 apiece, and it's just the first map.
They keep finding these clutches over and over again. I feel like AVANGAR are playing the better Mirage, the better Counter-Strike. I think this has just been the story the whole way. Renegades just don't know when to quit.
Renegades refuse to lose, but do they have the will to win? They will continue on the T side. Will they have an AWP? We've seen in overtime both squads go 5 AKs in some of these rounds, but indeed there will be the AWP for Gratisfaction. There's been some nerves for both sides. So much potential. They can see the road ahead of them. They can see the trophy ahead of them. A place in the grand finals is at stake, and this is just the first map. Nobody wants to start 0-1, regardless of who picks what. James goes back to the well again at mid position, but this time he does not outstay his welcome. Jacob was ready. He was waiting.
He absolutely is, and that grit, that raw willpower and grit and determination seems to be paying off for Renegades, but Buster, maybe an AWP shot to the chest is better. We'll have to see as JKS now takes position towards A ramp for some lurking. However, well, there's no lurking to be done because Kika's on the mission and he will exterminate JKS in that position. Now we've got 3 players left for Renegades at the beginning of this half. Aiken's found himself a position though. Maybe there's a play to be made, but Buster, he's wise to it and shuts that down. And now there's only 2 left. It just gets worse and worse here.
Buster is everywhere. Let's not forget the shot he missed earlier. He's got 3 kills regardless, and he takes the bomb. He takes control, and he delivers a kill for Liaz as well. All who come. Final atomic Buster around that short position. First round of overtime 2 goes to AVANGAR. We're looking at the first team to 22 rounds. Double ops continue for AVANGAR, but on the Renegade side, AWP maybe not working out so well. Maybe it's a money issue. They go 5 AKs. They've got the grenades though.
Yeah, I think those fast plays have worked for them as well. And I think creating those mid-round situations, considering that Renegades have been so clutch, has been strong. And you know what? The pace is going to kick off very quickly here as we see they're just going to run into the B-bomb site. That's not too bad, is it? And here comes the charge. Adren in position. Spray looking good. Nowhere to go. Adren removing absolutely every opponent from the B-bomb site. Oh my God, that ended so quickly.
If you want beef, then AVANGAR have got the meat hooks. Absolute destruction in the apartments. Renegades deploying the grenade from outside the entrance to the B apartments. Maybe some telegraphing there. A HE and a tight choke point can do a hell of a job. If one player gets stuck trying to jump out the window and Molotovs are up, that could get even worse. Lemmings on the B bomb site.
Oh my God. Oh man, they didn't even make it into the flames, James, where there's more problems. So
no, they didn't. And now they are left with Gratisfaction on a MAC-10, 4 AK-47s, some slight shortcomings in the utility, but they still have a chance. You don't want to go 0-3 in any half of overtime. But James, he's growing in confidence. I have to say, despite the back and forth, both teams have been confident and aggressive. No one's been shy.
Is it the end of the chapter that is Mirage, though? Or can Renegades again find a way back in? It's looking terrible. James with the peak from high. There's the shot through the smoke, and Renegades smartly waiting that one out, but they will take position towards the bomb site. Key cut on the boost. Not able to find anything. James somehow pushes bench. How is that happening? James looking to get out of there, and he's going to manage to do that.
He wanted to go back again. Mac 10 just not happening for the retake, and JKS is alone now. 1 versus 4. Once again, he's asked a lot of, but it won't happen. A 0-3 half for AVANGAR. 3 game points now. 3 game points. But it's not over yet. Nothing can be assumed. Time to switch sides. Renegades go to the CT side now. Everything can change. Gratisfaction has the luxury of the angles with the AWP rather than trying to force the issue. Not always easy on the T side. But it might not be easy on the CT side either.
Things do get weird when you get into overtime as well. It feels like do you recycle some plays before? The success rates of those things that maybe worked before, is it going to work again? Things get a little bit blurry when you get into this extended bout. Gratisfaction jumping down. That AWP, there's the smoke for the connector Molotov to maybe create a one-way for yourself, and it's not much of a one-way, but it will do, and there's nobody pushing, so you'll take a deeper position. Gratisfaction looking for the plays, Jacob looking for the plays, but Sanji's ready for that. And now there's more problems. Oh my goodness, Liaz lucky to escape there, gets a haircut courtesy of James. Sanji decides to push forwards, but into Gratisfaction he goes, and Renegades will keep tabs on middle, and it's looking good there. They've got mid control, and AVANGAR's, they don't really have much of the map. Looks like they're going for the A push.
Jacob down, but JKS is still alive, and that's important because the bomb is going towards A. In connector at the moment, offering rifle support to Gratisfaction. They have 0 information, but surely they would expect some grenades to come in first. James, it's not the first time we've seen him lurking in this spot, but what will his timing be like? Does he take a risk? Does he have a look? You can see Buster starting to go beyond Tetris on the A bomb site. Gratisfaction has the frag, but he does not have position. JKS, we've seen him do amazing things from here in the past. 40 seconds on the clock. We've got a smoke up in default. Avoids the flashback, and he's still here, looking for the planter. JKS all over this! Buster now, 1 versus 4. Trying to do what he can, 30 seconds. He's got to collect the bomb. He's got to collect some frags, some scalps. He's got to do some damage.
Dangerous as well, that first headshot. Takes its time. Looks for the transfer there. Expecting the trade to come in. Oh no, you almost see it happening, but JKS will finish it off. 3 kills for him. Oh my God, the composure from Renegades has been remarkable because they've been playing with their backs against the wall time and again here on Mirage, but they don't know when to say die. AVANGAR need to keep applying the pressure.
2 more rounds. I want more overtimes. I want more of them. Renegades fans, make some goddamn noise for this team. They are fighting tooth and nail for this map. Come on. AWPs are out once again. James looking to punish any brazen plays across towards that connector position, and Gratisfaction a little too high on that occasion. That would have been a nice opening for them. T grenades in the mid position, smokes in the windows, but nobody's there. Renegades have 3 players in the B bomb site. No boost on short just yet. As it takes position, there'll be a boost towards B, and again that pixel gap is so important. We've seen it cost T players before, but Gratisfaction goes deeper.
I love this. We're seeing everybody trying to make plays here, and previously Sanji caught the play into underpass, and he's looking for the play into the B apartment. So it feels like he's in the mind of Renegades, although of course he can't know exactly what's around the corner. And a rifle holding an angle versus an AWP. Those are 2 completely different beasts. You cannot walk into an angle like this. You are absolutely dead if you do it, and Sanji's still waiting for that B apartments push. You can see that the AVANGAR slow the map down. They're expecting a push from Renegades, but Renegades will not give it to them.
What is AVANGAR's game now? Kiko makes his way over. He might engage first, actually. He's carrying the bomb. There is the bait from Sanchi, but there's no pull of the trigger from Gratisfaction. I don't think AVANGAR have any idea what's going on, but now they do. What are they up to at the moment? Running distraction as it gets taken out in the meantime. Gratisfaction fighting for his life. His teammates are nowhere near him. He delivers a tag, but no frag just yet, and down he goes. Liaz is in the market. We've got 2 players in the red for AVANGAR in this 3v3. Sanji with the AWP. Liaz the smoke to create some space. Can they get out of this market position? Renegades are all coming from the same spot.
Swapping out for that AK-47. I think JKS killed 2 players on Cowl from the A-bomb side. That's unreal. Now, Kika waits around the smoke all day. JKS doing more damage. He is absolutely unstoppable here. Sanji looking for the play out the window. Gets the first one. The smoke goes away just in time though. Kika! Oh, with the luck! And that's 22. That's map 1 for AVANGAR. And they held on for so long, but so did Renegades. These two teams are inseparable. What an epic way to start this series.
A huge first map from both teams. JKS just shy of 40 frags, 39 for 27, but ultimately not enough. They still trail now 0-1 over AVANGAR. A very coin flippy game, and I think that first map proved it. Really monstrous stuff, very entertaining. Both teams coming in hot, and you can see smiles on the players. Great support for the Renegade squad, the Norwegian corner as well. But again, it's AVANGAR taking the lead.
Wow. This is such a great way to start off the series. I think, you know, Renegades can also hold their heads high. I think AVANGAR, in terms of how well prepared they were for Mirage, AVANGAR seemed extremely prepared, I have to say. We saw those shenanigans with the mid boost coming in, you know, once or twice, but ultimately it felt like the trickery of Renegades was nullified by the preparation of AVANGAR, and it just turned into this slugfest. And I am entertained, James.
Yeah, that was a brutal game of Mirage. That was absolutely fantastic stuff. Both teams, they're just so close. And I really hope that continues in the other maps to come as well. Again, I think it was really 50-50. It's hard to make a confident pick in this series, but AVANGAR almost lost it, but they lead 1-0. It's break time, and then we will see the thoughts of the desk.